Hi, everybody, and welcome to Amateurs Guild. We are on session 6, episode 6 of the podcast. So, by the way, the name of the campaign is The Flames of Conspiracy. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that to you guys.
No, never.
Okay, cool. That's the name of the campaign.
Don't. Don't.
Anyway.
That makes sense.
It's all coming together as we figure out how to run a podcast as we make it.
It's like really grounded.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
That's
it's
the name of the campaign.
All right.
I wonder what happened.
So let's do a little recap here. Last episode, the gang found themselves reappearing from the Circle of Fire's lair, only to be plummeting to the earth from high up in the skies. As they fell, Palescales was able to notice black smoke coming from the west, about 3 days walk away from where they currently were, just before splashing into the river below. Swimming to shore, the gang noticed a small settlement in the forest on the bank of the river, which turned out to be a group of Tieflings who had fled the Empire in the Ember Coast and made a new lives for themselves here in the Riverlands. The gang introduced themselves to Captain Rowless, the leader of the tribe, who invited them to take shelter and rest, where Lacie was able to cure Sebog of his petrified affliction.
I didn't hit her, I promise.
I swear. In the evening...
I did not.
I did not touch her.
Aha, Sebog.
Aha!
I see you're not a stone now.
Oh, we have to implement that now. Hi, Sebog.
There's gonna be there's gonna be an NPC way down the line that does that.
Oh, hi!
It's gonna be Kairos.
That's gonna be the dude.
It's gonna be amazing.
You guys don't know who that is.
Shut. Rowless joined the gang to speak in quiet about his tribe and his past as a captain in the Tiefling Empire during the Forever War. He spoke about the Circle of Fire and the manipulation of the Tiefling Emperor and blamed them for the worst atrocities of the war, while also mentioning a character familiar to Sebog who had frequented this small settlement, Kairos. Oh, hi, Sebog! Upon the gang telling the captain of the assassination of the Dwarven princess in Rune, he worried that this would cause retaliation from the dwarves who knew of the Tiefling settlement and already wanted them gone. Palescales then pieced together the black smoke he saw before falling into the river and realized it must have been an attacking force of dwarves looking for revenge on the Tieflings who they blamed for the princess's death. The gang rested for a night and agreed to help the settlement prepare for a potential attack in the morning. Rhaego, pretty lady, who suffers from amnesia but remembered her real name to be Madras, and Palescales decided to intercept the dwarves and try and convince them to turn back, while Sebog, Yara, and Lacie stayed at the settlement to help prepare. Prepare, and doing nothing but good things. Sebog and Lacie took turns visiting a potion brewer in town to learn what their mysterious Circle of Fire concoctions would do if used. But not before Lacie tried her own experiment with a suspicious black potion in the woods. With just a drop, she saw a flower quickly wilt away before immediately springing back to life as if nothing had happened. And a sickening feeling that overcame her, but only for a brief moment. Palescales and Madras were able to successfully thwart Dwarven forces by commanding Lieutenant Brager to turn back and go home with a convincing disguise on Madras's behalf and a well-acted performance by Palescales. Well-acted is in quotes in my notes, just so you know. Rhaego reminded...
Fuck you too.
I mean, the role was great.
Oh, yeah.
The role was great.
I did the roles.
That's all that matters.
So it's kind of part of it. I kind of took the actor fee.
That is true. That was huge.
Yeah.
That was huge. So I'm gonna get rid of it for him. I'm gonna put it in.
You know what? That would mean a lot to me.
You know what? You got it, dude.
Thanks. Honestly. I really turned things around.
Title of last week's episode.
Whole life
Actor.
It's all coming up Palescales today. Rhaego reminded the two that the dwarves would surely be back soon, but this win helped buy the Tieflings time. Back at the camp, Sebog and Lacie helped to fortify the defensive structures and train the commoners to fight, as in the corner of her eye, Lacie could see a flower at the edge of camp quickly wither away and spring back to life.
Was it just a flower? I thought it was like a patch of.
I think it was just a flower.
Oh.
Or it could have been a patch.
Oh, I thought it was.
I thought it was the whole ground just moving.
It was a couple, it was multiple flowers. There's a
Okay.
little flower bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Revisionist history. It was multiple flowers that did that.
Okay.
And that's where we are.
Okay.
So everything's fine. Does that make you feel better now?
Yeah.
That it wasn't a ton of flowers, just some flowers?
I thought it was like a whole hill that just.
Oh
like
my
this.
Oh, no.
Okay.
That would have been cool.
No.
That could be it.
So
I haven't edited the last episode yet. I'll just quickly
Aw.
go in. It cuts to me in my office being like, actually.
If there's one thing the fans love of any franchise or series, it's retroactively changing what's already part of the canon.
Of course.
We do
Yeah.
this for y'all.
J.K. Rowling does it and it's a hit.
Yeah.
The Avatar series does it and it's a
I
hit.
loved when they did that.
Star Wars, they unkilled Sidious. That was such a popular.
That was good. It really worked well for them.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So anyway,
No problem.
that's where we are now.
Okay.
Lacie and Sebog, you are helping the the commoners prepare for battle. I think Lacie, you're kind of helping with learning how, teaching them how to use swords and weapons. And Sebog, you were helping with the defensive structures.
Yeah.
As this happens, you see Pale Scales and Madras and Rhaego come back into town. And then the rest of you meet up.
What's wrong?
Hey guys.
This is not a character. This is just Allie.
Out of character. Okay. I get it.
Someone else go.
So how'd it go, guys?
I spit on her.
It went really well. They're not
I
coming.
agree. I totally spit on her.
Rhaego pipes up and says, yeah. We just need to almost cut. We're not going to cut. We're going to keep going. Rhaego comes up and he says, after the quite the performance given by Madras and Pale Scales, the dwarven forces turned back, but it is only a matter of time before they realize that a trick has been played on them and they come back again, and potentially in more numbers. But they have bought us time, and for that, I think we should probably be grateful. You see Rowless come up, kind of overhearing the three of you kind of returning back to camp, and looks over, kind of a hopeful, and just coming over to you, Magus, and says, "How did it go? Are they on their way? Should we prepare? Like, what should we be doing?"
It's okay. We got them to turn back.
Okay. Wow. Well, I'd like to have more faith in our forces here, but I think that if they had gotten here, it surely would have been a bloodbath. So, you have my thanks.
That's not to say that they're not coming later. I lied. We all lied to make sure that they wouldn't come this time.
He nods and looks over at the rest of you and says, I figured that would be the case. There's nothing I can imagine that would stop the dwarves from enacting revenge for something that they think that we've committed, but I think that eventually the solution may have to be a diplomatic one, but in the meantime, we need to be able to protect our settlement. He looks over at Romulus, his aide, his advisor, who comes up, and just kind of with like a checklist and kind of like overseeing the preparations. He comes up and he says, "Captain, I think that we could be with a good couple of days. We could be in a much better situation, but we surely will not survive an attack from the dwarves of any capacity if we don't have reinforcements, if we don't have help. I highly recommend that we try and reach out to the humans and maybe also our good friend Kairos and see if he can actually help us in some way." Rowless kind of nods and looks back at the rest of you and says, "All right, well, I think that aid might be our only hope, and so that's something that we're going to have to figure out and try and see if the humans will come to our aid like they have in the past. As for Kairos, I would go myself, but I do think that it would be unwise to leave the camp at this time, me being one of the very few people with military experience. I should stay here. He looks over at you all and just kind of looks almost regretful, and he just says, "You all have already done so much for us and our small settlement here. Could I ask for just one more favor, perhaps?"
It'd be nice to see a friend again, so...
He nods, he says, "That's right, you know Kairos, right?"
Yeah.
He sits there, he's like, "And how do you know him?"
He helped me out. Times were tough for me.
He nods, he says, "That is very much like Kairos. Well, if you wouldn't mind, Kairos is..."
Calling right now.
calling right now.
It's me, Kairos. I'm in big trouble, Big Bad Magic. You come? You come now?
Now it all makes sense! That's why I thought it was Big Bad Magic!
Oh my god, that's too funny. It is very much like Kairos to help someone in need, so that sounds very much like the right person. He looks over and says, "Well, the monastery that he resides at is at least 10 days north up the river. However, we might have something that can help you." He kind of ushers you guys along and then takes you into kind of a thicker part of the woods. And as you guys get there, you start to see there's some like wooden beams and such kind of sticking out of like bushes and whatever. He and some others kind of pull aside branches, and you actually start to see this not huge, but not very small wooden ship that is actually landlocked and pulled onto the land from the river. So he, you see this structure. It looks beaten up. You know, it's got plantation vegetation kind of growing onto the side of it a little bit. And he, and also at the very top, you see a sail which actually has this black and red banner with horns that you all know to be the insignia used by the Tiefling Empire during the Forever War. He looks back at the rest of you and says, "It'll take a little bit of time to get it seaworthy once more, but this will get you there in a couple of days. So I if you do not mind and helping us to see if Kairos can help us in some way, this would by far be the best way to get you there and back in time for whenever these dwarves, sure enough, show up."
How much time do you think they have before they show up again?
He looks back at Rhaego and Pale Scales and Madras and just says, "Well, it was about, I believe, a day, of travel up to where they were, to where you were meeting them. So it's usually about 4 days away. So that should be about 7 days that we would have for them to get back, realize that they were lied to, and turn around and make the 4-day journey once more."
So we got a week.
He nods and says, "And honestly, I wish we had more time, but again, this puts us in a much better situation than we were in just hours ago."
So what's your plan?
He kind of thinks to himself, shrugs a little bit and says, our plan is to hope for people who have been helpful to us, allies in the past, to once again arrive here and help us protect ourselves and this home that we've created for ourselves. I don't believe, again, that this will stop the dwarves from pursuing us and other settlements across Angea. However, in the short term, this will at least keep us alive if we can get some more forces, secure our structures, and build this up to be more of a compound and less vulnerable than it currently is. You see Rhaego nods and says, "Well, guys, I think this is a good time to tell you, but I think it's best for me to make my way back to Rune and see if I can get an audience with the king let him know of what we've discovered, and maybe at the same time, and he looks over at Raulis and just says, maybe bring a battalion of troops or anything that we possibly can back to help protect your settlement. Which Raulis nods and says, I thank you very much for that, and if she's willing, Yara could, of course, stay here with us if she feels maybe more at home than she's experienced lately. Looks over at Yara, who's just kind of within earshot, but kind of talking to other people, and she just kind of nods and says, I would very much like that. Being around my own kind might be a safer endeavor than the ones we've been on together, and she kind of chuckles.
You're pretty useless.
She laughs, and you see Raulis kind of chuckles, and Rhaego kind of laughs too, and says, "I wouldn't say useless, but maybe not battle hardened."
Useless.
He kind of awkwardly laughs and yeah, okay. But Yara does nod and says, "It's true. I haven't been of much help, and so the three of you, and I guess the four of you, really, I owe you a vow of gratitude that I hope someday maybe I can repay."
We'll see.
She kind of nods and smiles to herself and kind of goes back off to help in some of the fortification and things that the other people of the town are doing. Raulis looks back at you all and just says, if you want to maybe rest up, I don't know if it looks over the three of you. If the three of you saw any kind of combat, sounds like you didn't, but if you want to just kind of, rest while we get the ship into the water and kind of prepare it for your journey, if you're willing to make this on our behalf, that would be probably best.
You might need a different sail.
He nods and he says, I there's a reason we hid this from the eyes of anybody who would be passing by. Unfortunately, I don't know if we have the time, but we can see if perhaps maybe our potion expert can come up with a dye or something that we can throw on there to just at least cover it slightly.
Yeah.
You could cover it in stickers.
He looks over you and says, I'm sorry, what was that?
You could cover it in stickers.
He's like, I guess that would be right if we had stickers. I don't know where we would find stickers.
She's got plenty.
Lacie just starts pulling out the rings of stickers from her bags, all excited and just never ending.
He says, "Oh my god,
Pocket of holder.
I guess so. That's probably a good way to go about it." So he nods and says, let's get it into the water and we'll put you on the sail to start putting some stickers on." And so they start to do that, start to pull this ship, with ropes into the river slowly as it gets closer. They also have other people who are kind of scrubbing off some of the moss and roots that have kind of not embedded into the ship, but grown on the side of it. So they're kind of cleaning it off and preparing it. Lacie, you jump up to it's not really a crow's nest, not like a big enough ship for that, but it's probably 50 feet from the back to the front. And so you're kind of climbing up the mast and just putting stickers all across this this sail here. And so the rest of you are just kind of resting right now. I'm gonna say mechanically you get a long rest, so all your spells and stuff are going to be recovered. But in that meantime, as they're kind of preparing it in the next couple of hours, is there anything you all would like to do? Put any potions around, maybe?
Actually, I do want to give Lacie the green potion. That's the maximum power level 4 spell potion. Because I can't use it, so
True.
I'm gonna give that to you.
Thank you.
And
About how long is this rest in game time?
It's going to mechanically be a long rest.
In game
But in game time, it's only we're going to say 4 hours or so.
Okay, like enough time for. I guess what is there to do in the town again? There's a potion shop and what else?
There's a potion shop. There are. It's not really a place where there's combat experts and things like that, but there is kind of a makeshift. There's a blacksmith because they do have other kind of metal needs, but then you also have these different, a couple people together who are sharpening swords and doing some minor work. Who might be able to help out with any kind of weapons and such. And then there is a couple people kind of running around taking out, like old pieces of metal and kind of trying to forge them into armor. It's definitely very haphazard. These are not combat experts or people who are used to making armors or weapons, but they could potentially maybe help you out. They, seem to know somewhat of what they're doing.
Okay.
You could definitely pick up, like some common stuff, basics that they may have.
Got it. Do you guys have anything you want to do?
Go ahead.
I was actually going to give you the blue potion, which is invisibility.
Ooh, I will take that and put that back in the bag of holding. Thank you, Sebog.
Do I have time for something, or am I busy with the mask?
No, you would have time. I'm going to say that doesn't take too long to do what you were born to do and put a bunch of stickers on something.
I'm going to walk towards where I saw the flowers.
The second
Yeah,
thing? Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
And I'm going to cast Speak with Plants.
Whoa! Okay.
Yeah.
I follow her.
What?
No.
Okay, so... Alright. So,
And I attempt to do so without her knowledge.
Okay, so, Dame, you're gonna give me a stealth roll against your, perception roll, Allie.
It's a 21.
Oh,
I'm gonna be
Dame.
noticed.
I'm going to be noticed.
Oh, I got a -1 here, so let's see how this
So,
goes.
a net.
So you...
So you literally
You
can't.
have
Nat 20.
No way! Oh my... No way!
I follow you unseen.
God damn it!
It bounced out of his...
Out of the tray and right there,
The
too.
gods
Oh
need
my-
it.
Oh my
What is that?
god. Well, the dice don't lie.
Okay.
I hate it.
Whoa.
All right. So Allie,
Yep.
what exactly is the language of speak with animals or speak with plants?
So I imbue plants within 30 feet of you with limited sentience and animation, giving them the ability to communicate with you and follow your simple commands.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of, you finish putting these stickers on this mass. It looks hilarious. You climb down to kind of make your way around, and you are trying to kind of go off on your own, correct?
Mhm.
So you kind of look around, just kind of, just looking around, trying to be inconspicuous, maybe I should help with the fortifications, kind of walking around. Everyone's just kind of resting and talking and stuff like that and doing their thing. So you think you are able to creep around, the corner right onto the edge of camp where you saw these flowers wilt away and then suddenly kind of grow back. And then you cast speak with animals, and
Speak with plants.
Speak with plants, sorry. And as you are about to cast, cut to Pale Scales just creeping around. Yeah, Pale Scales, how do you do this just for flavor?
Nub.
You've already won.
Nub.
Yeah.
Out of the
Captain-
corner of my eye, I see Lacie. And by corner of my eye, I mean like bottom corner. She's down here. I see Lacie seeming to act as if she's trying not to draw attention to herself and walking off away from the rest of us. And I go, she probably will do some magic stuff that I can learn about. So I tiptoe behind her to see if I can learn more about magic and understand it better by watching Lacie do her magic stuff. So go ahead and do your magic stuff.
I hate magic.
I do. But I'm
Son of a
curious.
bitch.
Hatred,
All right.
Hatred makes one curious.
Lacie, you cast Speak with Plants.
Yep.
what would you like to say?
I just wanna like look down and I just wanna go, are you friend or foe?
I have such a bad poker face. You lean down, you cast Speak with Plants, and you speak to this group of flowers, and you say, "Are you friend or foe?" And you hear this kind of this like whistly kind of air, just kind of being like exhaled, as if like somebody on like their deathbed. You just hear like this kind of help us, and that's all you hear. But you can keep communicating with it, but that's all they respond.
Question for Lacie about Speaking with Plants.
What up?
Are you the only one that understands what they're saying?
It doesn't actually specify, but it does. No, it says range self.
Yeah, it's
So I
just,
think
it's just
I
I'm
can
gonna
hear
be
you
in
talking, but I
you
can't
can hear
what
me
they're
talking,
saying.
Right.
but you can't.
Okay. Cool.
What can I do to help you?
It's how would it respond? It responds. Give us the black water. And then immediate says, kill us. Give us the black water. Kill us. And it seems to be these contradictory arguments, almost like you're speaking to two different sentient beings.
Can I tell if like one plant is speaking and the other plant is speaking, or is it just like the same?
It is like you are speaking to the same entity, but its responses are almost like you're speaking to two separate beings.
Okay. She's gonna look down and she's gonna go, what can I do to end this? This is 10 minutes too, so it's
It's
a while.
whole dialogue.
It's a whole
it says, give us the black water, burn us. Give us the black water, burn us. It's kind of this constant, like, again, one entity, but these just contradictory responses.
How long has this been going on? How long has it been since I've casted?
Oh, like seconds. I mean, it's been like a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I cast another spell, or do I need to wait?
Yeah, is it concentration?
It is not.
I think you can cast another spell.
I'm gonna cast Flame Blade.
Cool. Okay. So I imagine this just kind of conjures a
Yep.
flaming sword. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
And I'm going to touch down on the plant bed.
It says, it burns. Put it out. Put it out. Put it out. And then another says, thank you. Thank you. And then you see these flowers just start to ignite and start to crackle under the flames. I imagine you make like kind of like around like a circle kind of around them. They all kind of burn up and start to wither away like any normal plant would be that you lit on fire. And then slowly those whispers just kind of die off and get quieter and quieter until you can't hear them anymore.
Uh-huh. This is 30 feet. Is there anything else that I can hear? Can I... So can I call it and go, are there more of you?
Yes. You can hear, you kind of open this up and ask, like kind of more out into the field a little bit. And then you just hear these very, very tiny and almost like it almost sounds like the wind blowing in the background.
Mm-hmm.
But then you kind of focus up and you realize this is like millions of voices as these little, which you realize are coming from the grass and the ground and like the weeds and different plants and flora around, and you just hear these echoings of different kill us, Give us the black water. Kill us. Give us the black water.
Fuck, this is like the whole forest. What did I do? Lacey's gonna turn back and start running towards her friends.
Okay. So you run back up to your friends.
I interrupt her.
Okay, so you stop her?
Mhm.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I felt a magic presence, and I talked to the plants. And they want something, and I don't know what's going on.
You're a mushroom priestess?
Yeah,
And you're lighting the forest on fire?
they told me to.
The plants told you to light the forest on fire?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. They just told me to kill them. And I won't let them not have their wish.
Give me a deception check. What would it be against you, Pale Scales?
Investigation?
Investigation, probably.
Probably. I think so.
Fuck. Oh, it's only a 5.
Let's see what we got.
Or insight, am I? Insight.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Insight, yeah.
insight or investigation, because you are kind of trying to piece this together. I'm gonna say either could apply, so whichever one you want to use.
I will use investigation.
Too bad.
19 plus 3, 22.
So,
Pale Scales, you know for a fact that there is more to this, and you know that she maybe doesn't understand everything, but there is definitely something that she is not telling you about this specific instance.
We need to go get people.
I don't believe you.
Then you can die.
I think you're going to have to explain yourself a little better, or I'm going to tell the party that you're not to be trusted because you're out here setting forest fires and talking to yourself.
I told you I wasn't talking to myself. I was talking to the plants.
Right.
They told me to kill them. That's the truth.
So tell me the rest of the truth.
You just see Lacie go in her bag, and she pulls out the black potion. She puts it back in her bag. She just says, we need to go get people now.
Who else knows about that? Who else needs to know about that?
Anyone who can help us burn this forest down.
Let's go. Do you think we should tell Sebog?
I'll tell him.
What about what's her face?
I don't trust her yet.
I don't trust anybody.
Yeah, well, you got that whole dark and brooding thing going on, sir.
I guess you do too?
Kindred spirits, right?
Yeah. With a secret in common now. How much fire magic do you know besides that fire sword thing you did? That's it?
That's it.
We need to talk to the party first.
Yes.
Because it could be bad for the settlers. And they could be upset.
Yep.
Don't tell them you have that.
I won't.
Don't tell the party you have that either.
I won't.
We'll tell them when the time is right. But it's not now.
Lacie looks up, and she just kind of puts one arm on his back and says, "Thank you, and I'm sorry, and I didn't mean for this to happen, I promise." And you see her go under her. You see her reach under her shirt, and she pulls out her emerald. And she says, "This can't happen again." And she walks off.
Madras, what are you doing right now?
I don't know. I'm in town. I'm chilling.
Okay, cool.
At the bar.
So,
the
so
tavern.
there's definitely a place where you can
Interject.
get drinks and such if you wanted to. You can get food. You can talk with anybody in town. You can, there are definitely people working on weapons and stuff or armor. There's a potion shop, so there's a lot to do. I'm going to say also, if you want to do you could talk to Rowless if you wanted to, and combine that with a history check based off of his knowledge of the Circle of Fire, and a history check to maybe learn more about your past too, if
Okay.
you'd like to.
That would be a great option.
Cool.
So Madras is gonna do that.
So you kind of make your way up, and you just see Rowless just kind of walking around thinking to himself, and then Romulus just like, right behind him, just like, sir, what should we do about the barriers? And he's just like, we don't need to worry about the barriers if we don't freaking have an army to fight the dwarves. And he's like, okay, well then what do we do about the army? He's like, Romulus, please leave me alone for 2 seconds. He kind of turns around and just kind of meets your gaze like a foot away. He goes, Madras, how can I help you?
Hi, I was just wondering if I could pick your brain about a few things.
Yeah, let's take a moment aside. And then Romulus is like, but sir, and he's like, Romulus, I swear to God. And just kind of walks off for a second. So he kind of, you go into, between some of like the like tents and like shelters and stuff. And he's like, what can I help you with?
So, can you tell me a little more about the Tiefling history, the Circle of Fire, the involvement that you have, the knowledge you have of it?
He nods and he says, yes, as I was telling you and the rest of the gang before, the Circle of Fire, it largely remains, a mystery to us all. I'm convinced that the Emperor who was, working hand in hand with him during the war, or hand in hand with them during the war, probably didn't even really understand their motives or anything like that. But what I can tell you from what I saw, especially once I became a captain, shortly before I left the Empire altogether, the Circle of Fire uses magic and spells and sorcery beyond anything that I've seen before, and in a more heinous way than I've ever seen anyone cast spells on others. It was not simply to win a war, it was to not simply even eradicate the people that they disagreed with. They used magic and sorcery and anything at their disposal to corrupt people and creatures at their core to do their bidding. And I saw many different versions of this, especially happened early on in the war. For some reason, very frequently happened with elves.
Can you tell me more about that?
He nods and he says, I don't know why, but I just recall it being something that I always noticed with, with elves when we were beginning the war and fighting, and early on it was, the Tiefling Empire was completely unmatched. The other free cities, the kingdoms of men, dwarves, and elves had no real chance in the beginning before they had grouped, together, and before Bjorn had really, taken up the mantle as the commander of these forces. So in the beginning, the Tiefling Empire was just conquering and pillaging and making a lot of progress. And as that happened, we captured many prisoners of war. And in the beginning, when the Circle of Fire was just a fleeting ally that we sometimes would interact with, and the Emperor could be seen with eventually, occasionally. In the beginning times, when we would capture these prisoners, we would treat them with the respect of a soldier who is your prisoner, and feed them, take care of them, and treat them as a prisoner, but as a somebody that you, as in a way that you would appreciate being treated as if you were captured in war. However, as the Circle of Fire became more influential to the Empire, the prisoners started being moved into different areas and kind of treated in a very different manner. It was more hostility toward them, and they would just oftentimes disappear. And at the time, when I was a lower rank and I would ask about such things, I wouldn't learn anything. But I eventually, once I became a captain, overheard people, Tieflings and higher-ups among the ranks talk about the prisoners who were successes and the prisoners who were failures. And while I don't know exactly what that entails, I know that it has to do with the Circle of Fire. I know that all the prisoners who kept showing up dead was not simply as a result of battle wounds or anything normal like that. These people had spells cast on them, and for some reason the ones who had survived were more commonly elves than any other species, and when they survived, they were no longer prisoners, and they would enter our ranks. And he just kind of looks a little disturbed, and he says they also didn't look like themselves. They had this pale green aura around them, and their eyes had turned green, and they looked pale and just not sickly, but just embedded with some kind of power. So I'm not sure what was happening, but I know the Circle of Fire was involved. I know it was some kind of magic being used on them, and I know that these prisoners were not themselves if they survived. Go ahead and give me a history check. And I'll say do it with advantage, because this is your history.
Cool.
Nat 20.
Woo, okay.
Ooh.
High rollers today.
It's a good day.
It's a great day for
Good
rolls.
day.
Except for
Except for me.
Except for you,
Yeah.
that
It was
was
Even though I got a
roll,
but you
21.
did get a 21.
The first one. It's just-
So, Madras, when you are hearing Raulis kind of talk about this feels like a story that you have heard before. And you're not sure exactly where, but the more he talks about not being yourself, the more he talks about elves with like a greenish aura and these bright, glowing green eyes, it just feels like a dream that you've had. In your mind, as you're kind of taking in what he's saying, you just can't get this like vision of like green flames out of your head. It's like this image is kind of like almost like burned into like your brain that you hadn't really thought of until you started kind of hearing him chat about his experiences in the Circle of Fire and what he's seen happening with these prisoners. You are able to deduce not everything, but that it's very likely whatever happened to you specifically, whatever has been, happening before you kind of reawakened, essentially, has not been, or whatever has been happening, it sounds like probably similar to what he is describing with these prisoners. It's probably safe to assume that you were at one point a prisoner, and this kind of spell or magic has been done to you. Whatever exactly it was, you're still not quite sure.
That could make me a little dangerous, or seem dangerous to the party.
Are you saying that to Raulis?
Yes.
He just looks over you and says, "What would make you dangerous?"
Nothing.
He nods and he says, "You know, the Forever War affected all of us. And you see that he's kind of just really trying to figure out the right thing to say. And he's saying, many of us, for whatever reason, weren't ourselves. And that's something that I live with as somebody who was part of this horrific empire before I left. But he just says, just know that your power lies in the present, and there's nothing that you can't undo with the actions that you do moving forward."
Thank you.
He says, "Unless I totally misread that and you're not troubled at all. But either way, it's good advice." And he just kind of nods and says, "Is there anything else I can help you with?"
That'll be all for today. Thank you.
He nods and says, "Okay, well, let me know if you need anything. Just let me know." Cool, so we'll cut to Sebog. What are you doing at this time?
I can't think of his name right now. The guy that's been with us the entire time.
Rhaego?
Yeah, Rhaego. Thank you. I want to talk to Rhaego for a little bit.
Okay.
No.
You see Rhaego's kind of like packing up his things. Not that it was,
That's a lot.
Yeah, I unpacked a lot, but he just kind of like, getting his weapons together that were inside of like, this tent that you guys are residing in, and just kind of putting all of his, stuff like on his person and whatever, getting ready to make the pilgrimage to Rune. So you walk into the tent and he kind of, is putting some, his hand crossbow kind of on his side and stuff like that, and says, "Oh, Sebog, how can I help you? I'm right about to head out."
Are you going to be able to make it in time?
He sits there and he says, "Rune is a far distance away, but I will say that there are advantages to being a ranger. I think it's going to be very close, but I think I can get to Rune before the Dwarven army gets here. And if there's anything I know about King Bjorn, it's that he's got something up his sleeve. I'm sure he'll have a way, whether it be some kind of contraption or some kind of magic that can maybe get us here if I can convince him to help."
Okay. Is there anything you're going to need that can help you get there faster?
He sits there and thinks and says, "There's nothing I think that would help me that I can think of other than just, getting on the road as soon as possible." He says, "But don't worry about me. Being in the woods is really my home. This is what I'm more used to. The assassination stuff and the spying stuff is not as much my forte, but I was in a unique situation to do it when the king asked me to. So don't worry. I think I can get there in time, and then if I can convince the king, I believe that he will he'll be able to rise to the occasion as he always does."
Okay.
He nods and he says, "All right, well, I'm off. Take care of yourself." And he gives you a handshake and kind of like clasps you on the shoulder. And as he walks away, he's like, "Oh, and take care of the rest of your party. We got some characters in there. I love them, but we got some characters." And he kind of makes his way out. You see, as he's going, kind of gives nods to. So imagine you're kind of coming back from between these tents, where Rowlis kind of goes off to do more stuff. So you see him kind of like give you a wave and a nod. And then as you guys kind of start to come back to the edge of town, you see Rhaego also kind of give you both a nod. And starts to kind of make his way into the woods and starts to kind of slowly turn into like a sprint. And as in the distance, you can kind of see him like starting to like climb like the sides of trees and start to do this essentially. I think it's called tree walking, but basically running across these branches like in the distance.
It's Naruto.
So yeah, it's straight up Naruto. Cool. So you guys all start to kind of make your way back to the center of camp at the same time. As you kind of meet up, you see Romulus come back up and say, "All right, friends. Well, I think the ship is ready. Is there anything you'd like to do before you leave? I do recommend getting out there and getting some distance before sunset. But before you leave, make sure to talk to Rowlis because he has a couple of recommendations as you make the journey on the river."
Aren't you Rowlis?
This is Romulus.
Oh,
it's his
okay.
assistant.
Okay, got you.
But he says, "Is there anything but I can help you with while you're here? I mean, I know we're not much of an establishment with goods and things that might be of use to travelers, but anything we can do to help, we gladly will do it."
Is this boat equipped with anything, weapon-wise,
He
shelter-wise?
he says it can definitely you'll have a place to rest. But let's make our way to the boat if you're ready, and we'll meet Rowlis there, and he'll be able to kind of tell you everything you need to know.
We might actually need a little bit more time to prepare. If you want to go on ahead, we'll meet you in about 10 minutes time or so.
Rowlis just kind of nods and says, Romulus just kind of nods and says, "Of course, I'll be on the ship with Rowlis whenever you are ready to depart."
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. So you see the ship is kind of like in the water now, held with a couple ropes, and Romulus kind of makes his way over that way. You see Rowlis kind of over there too, kind of inspecting the ship and make sure it looks good. But you guys are all together in the center of town now.
What's up?
So we may have a small to medium-sized problem to take care of before we go, or at least to just talk over before we go.
What are we going to talk about?
So, being, I guess the wizard's fancy use word for it is a sorcerer, being one of those magic types that doesn't learn my spelling from a book, I don't really get the whole magic thing all that in depth. Okay, it's more of a feel thing for me than a think thing for me. But Lacie, she's got her whole attuned to magic and attuned to nature thing, and we were having a bit of a sidebar just about what we're gonna do if we catch up with what's his name? Kairos, and she noticed that some of the flowers were behaving oddly, I guess, and so she did this. What did you call it? It's a spell.
Speak with plants.
Pretty self-explanatory.
What'd they say?
Kill us.
Why would they want to die?
But there were a lot of them. And I mean a lot.
Specifically asking, you said to be burnt?
Yes.
Is that all they were saying to you?
Yes.
Can I roll them so cool?
Yeah.
Roll against her deception?
Yeah,
I think so.
You are. I guess you are withholding some
We
of the
are.
truth. So,
Do we
go.
both then? Or is
You
it
you
just-
both can if you'd like to.
She actually technically told the truth.
No, she's
I'm-
withholding
No,
stuff.
I'm the
she
one
literally
so
said,
here's-
I don't know why, and she knows
Oh, that's
exactly
true.
why they're
That's
doing
true, yeah.
it.
Yeah, so we
No,
both lied.
Yeah.
We both lied.
Yeah.
So we
go
both
ahead.
rolled-
Deception checks. Both of you roll deception checks in the middle, and you guys roll perception. Or sorry, not perception. Insight, or I guess you can roll investigation if you'd like to.
12.
I have a plus 10 to investigation, y'all.
I have a 22.
What are you?
I have a plus 8 to deception.
10.
Jeez.
Yeah, how did you get a plus 10 to
Wow.
investigation? Are you sure?
It's my intelligence is so high.
What's your
What's
intelligence?
your intelligence? Intelligence could
Do you
be-
have? So do you must have.
She's
My
also probably
intelligence is
proficient.
proficient.
proficient. You must have proficiency, and you have a really high
Yeah,
roll.
she's
Yeah.
proficient.
I'm like, I got.
Yeah.
It's
I
her
got a 7.
primary proficiency.
Yeah.
It's her
I'm
main
big
proficiency.
Of course it is.
Well, I got
So
a 19.
investigation or what was the other insight? No.
What's your deception?
My
12.
Mine is 14 plus 8, so 22.
nat 20.
You don't need that.
you
You
Please
need
don't.
a 10 or higher.
That's true.
Please don't.
A 4. You're kidding.
But
Okay,
I was
so you
specifically
guys would-
looking at
this-
her.
so- Both of them would know that I'm lying.
Okay, because you got a 12.
I had 12.
Okay, and you got a 20 what?
I have a 22.
Okay, and you got a 19.
Yes.
Okay, so you got no.
So you guys know
that's
that
right.
Lacie
So-
lied, but not me.
But
So everything Pale Scale says seems, fine to both of you, but Lacie feels like she's withholding something, and both of you guys pick up on that. So there feels like there's more to the story from Lacie.
Are you sure there's nothing else they've been trying to say to you?
Nothing important.
Did you try burning them?
Yes.
What was that like?
The whispers went away from the ones that I burned. And then I listened closer and I heard millions of voices.
And you really don't know why?
So you know that there is more, but you obviously can't force her to
I'm not going to
say
push.
that.
I'm
So-
not going to push.
So you know, yeah. So you know there's something more. I mean, obviously you can continue to interrogate if you'd like to.
Yeah, my roll wasn't high enough, I thought. You got a 12, I got a 14. Barely there.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, all you need to do is obviously beat her to know
Right,
that she's
yeah.
lying. But of course,
Fair.
you know, she can still just keep lying.
There's
Cool.
like, I guess, opportunity where, like, theoretically, I guess you could do like an intimidation check or something like that if you really wanted to.
If you really wanted to
force the
escalate it.
information, but
No, I
yeah, you don't have to
I'm not
push.
that bad.
I'm a baby.
MVP.
Oh.
I'm baby.
All right, so you guys are sitting here discussing. Do you want to keep discussing? Do you want to make it to the ship? What would you like to do?
So
Is this problem going to get worse, you think, Lacie?
Probably.
here's our options.
Roots.
The way I see it: leave, tell no one, let never know. We don't get any of the unnecessary blame in case they assume it's something that we had to do with. But potential harm to the villagers and the settlers who are still here, who, granted, might get murdered by dwarves in about 8 days anyway. Throwing that out there. 2, we tell the leadership, we tell them that the flowers are suicidal, and that could be bad, and that they should leave, and let them deal with it. Or 3, we risk our lives, everything that we're up to, and potentially the fate of the continent, hanging around with homeless tieflings, protecting them from, again, suicidal flowers.
Well, why tell us if it wasn't a problem? You could have just left with the information.
Sure.
Well, if they want to die, I doubt they're going to try to attack. To kill.
Down with just leave it?
I'll do what you guys do.
I don't know. You guys found this problem.
What do you think, Lacie?
I trust your guys' judgment.
I think we need to burn the forest.
The whole forest?
I mean, we might not have to burn the whole forest. If we
Just
can burn it.
as long as if I can't hear the voices anymore, I know it's safe. But as long as I can still hear the voices, I think they're in danger.
Well, we can't just set the forest on fire and then not explain to the tieflings what's going on.
What if we use this as a diversion? What if we use this as a tactic to say that maybe if they see off in the distance, they see a giant fire, they might think that someone else got to them first.
And that gives them a chance to run.
Or gives them more time,
Yeah.
and giving us more time.
Yeah, I have no poker face. Just stop looking at me.
Stop staring at him.
They're all great ideas to me.
I have an idea.
Okay.
We tell the tieflings that we have discovered that this plot of land is cursed. And the only way to get out of the curse or fix that curse infestation problem is to magically cleanse the forest with fire. And they can stick around for that and help, or they can leave and not be exposed to the curse when we release it, when we burn through it. And then we can either deal with it or leave it for the dwarves when they come back. Again, we don't know how threatening this thing is, but that seems like a way to protect the villagers without wasting too much time or risking our own skin.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a smart idea.
I like it.
Alright. We can burn things magically, because I can't.
Let's go.
I have my flame blade and I have that potion you gave me, and I should be able to conjure up a wall of fire with it.
I've been able to do little stuff with flames, but most of my
Fire's
magic
fine.
is ice focused. I could try.
Well, this will be mostly Lacie then.
You don't have anything on fire?
I have poison mostly.
Poison.
So we gotta go talk to Romulus, I guess, first.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the story, folks? Lacie, you talked to the plants. What kind of curse is it? Bad spores?
I don't know what kind. I have no idea what kind of curse it is. I just know that it's probably moving through the roots, and it's probably moving fast.
So, just so I know real quick. So, you both know about the potion.
Yes,
And you guys don't.
correct.
We both know that there's more.
You know there's more to the story. You know,
We
you
haven't
haven't heard the whole truth
there's
yet.
some-
Yeah, but we know
Yeah.
that there's something going on. But
Right. You hear Romulus standing at like the bow of the ship, just being like, "Friends, it's getting late.
let's go.
I don't want to rush you with all you've done for us, but maybe it's gonna be best if we start moving."
Just telling
We
him.
should go talk to him.
Where's your boss at?
You see, Romulus is just kind of like looking over the ship and just kind of inspecting it. Like when you're first driving off to college and you have like your dad's kind of looking at the ship, like, yep, okay, everything's in good order. All right, okay, cool. Just kind of looking around and just kind of comes over and looks over to you guys and just says, "What are you guys ready to go, or what? Anything we can help you with? Anything at all?"
We're ready to go. You gotta be ready to go. Now, we found a bit of a problem.
So right now, you're in the center of town and they're in the river, so you guys are just shouting like a football
Hey.
field of distance, basically.
We have a huge problem. People are gonna panic if they find out about it. You should come talk to me about it over here discreetly.
And you see, Romulus just goes, "Wait, what is this about?" And then just Romulus just kind of like nudges him and just says, "Shut up," and kind of
We have a huge problem. People are gonna freak out.
Romulus just goes, okay, and just kind of makes his way over to you guys and says, "All right, what is the problem?"
I will let the resident forest mage tell you what it's about.
Deception is better. God damn it. Long story short, I talked to the plants and we need to burn the forest because your people are in great danger. Okay, let's go.
He just he says, "Oh, wait, stop." He like grabs your like cloak as you just like to kind of move like very cartoon-esque. Your feet start to like dig a hole. You just try to go down on the ground. He says, "Wait, I'm sorry. We're not talking about the Dwarven Empire. You're talking about something affecting the vegetation, the plants around us?"
Yes.
He says, "Well, before I uproot my entire clan, I'm gonna need to know more. I apologize. I know you all mean best, but if we're not gonna leave for a Dwarven army, there's have to be a really important reason for us to leave now."
The land that you guys have built your settlement on is suicidal.
He says, I'm sorry, I do not understand how the land is suicidal."
Yes.
The plants said kill us.
Specifically requesting self-immolation. I guess it would be immolation by another party, actually.
Yeah, they can't conjure fire.
It wouldn't be self-immolation.
Yeah.
That'd be insane.
It'd be
Semantics.
immolation for the self.
He nods. He says, "Okay. Listen, friends. I know you mean well. I feel like maybe this is the secondary issue right now, other than a group of dwarves, an army potentially of dwarves coming to enact heinous revenge on us for something that we haven't done. I don't mean to make nothing out of this. You sound concerned, but I'm afraid I don't understand.
Out of character. Is there any way for you to pop the top of the potion off without anyone noticing, so that he feels terrible being in the vicinity?
I would have to be sleight of
Or-
hand if you did something like that.
Or there's something else. I can technically do. Fuck me. I mean, yeah, but it would have to be slightly.
And
is
I'm
not
watching.
I don't know. I don't know, sir. Here's my sleight of hand. It's +2.
That's not a bad modifier.
It
I'm
could be worse for sure.
And I think it's-
you're watching.
It's okay if party notices. I guess the goal is to make him realize that this is an actual problem.
I mean, I'm in a hole. You said I was in
Partial
a hole.
cover.
partial
It's so
cover.
true.
Oh my God.
You're in like up to like your knees in
Yeah.
this flavor text hole.
Flavor text hole.
So the angle at which you are lower to all of your friends is like
Easier.
a degree or two,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
because you're already so short in comparison.
So I'm
Not
hearing
that much of a
advantage.
difference. Yeah.
No. Since we have a better height, we can
Yeah,
see
now they have a
now.
bird's eye view.
Fuck.
More so.
God.
Actually, they all get advantage.
You really just hate me looking at your face, don't you? God damn it.
I need a mask like Sebog has. I need like the
just have a plague doctor.
yeah, the
mask
like
on
doctor
you.
masks. Just like,
Okay. Actually. I'm gonna cast Minor Illusion,
Mhm.
which will allow me to create a smell.
Okay.
And I want to create like a sickly smell in the air that smells like decay.
Are you trying
Okay.
to hide this?
I don't have to. I can just kind of do it.
And wait,
So-
like in front of him now? Oh,
So
okay,
if you
don't
do
have-
this, unless you try to hide it, it
Yeah.
will be obvious that you are casting something.
One
yeah.
moment.
Oh, can you?
I have a way. I think. I have an idea. What is
You
it, Candace?
see Romulus still on the ship. We really should be going.
Okay.
One sec.
you see, it is getting darker out. So it has been like at least like probably maybe like an hour, maybe 2 hours since they started moving the ship,
Since they're moving
I-
the ship?
like out of the forest
yeah, yeah,
into the
yeah.
water.
Oh, never mind.
So it's-
A Minor Illusion will not let me cast a smell. I had that wrong.
I bend over and scoop up a handful of dirt from the ground.
Okay.
With my hand that I have. The one hand.
Cool.
It's all on
I'm
his
glad you
hook.
clarified.
It's
that.
all on his hook.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's all in
And
his hook.
I cast the cantrip prestidigitation
Cool. Okay.
to flavor
The most underrated cantrip of all.
up to 1 cubic foot of non-living matter for an hour. And I flavor the dirt
Okay.
with the worst taste of death and decay and rot and like vile vulgarity that I can. Like it tastes like a piece of carrion that has been rotting in the sun. Like
Okay.
Vulture's 5-star restaurant type
Okay.
shit. And I hold out the handful of dirt and I say, there's not a lot I know about magic, but if I know one thing, it's dirt and the mud. This dirt tasted great when I was in that mud bucket about 2 hours ago. Scooping it up, putting it in my face, lathering in it. You got good dirt around here. When I taste it now, something's off. Please,
Out
taste
of
this
character,
dirt.
real quick. Can we not see him cast that? Is there not like a little poof in his hand when he's
I think-
holding
Oh,
the
so
dirt?
what I'll do is I'll expend a spell point
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
to do
Okay.
subtle spell, which
Got it.
allows me to
Cool.
cast a cantrip or spell with no somatic verbal components of any kind, so you cannot tell that I'm casting a magic spell at all.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely say you're able to cast that with nobody knowing. So now you're telling him about this. He looks at it, and he just says, I don't understand. Why would the ground be rotting? And that's kind of cart before the horse. Give a deception check with advantage.
Oh, yes.
20 net.
Oh my!
You want me to roll the other
Roll
one?
again.
He's actually disadvantaged.
No.
It didn't even finish the roll. It was like in between 13 and 11. And that's a 19.
So I'm going to go with a 19.
Disadvantage.
Fuck you.
It's actually DM advantage.
Yeah.
So, okay, so he looks at it and just says, I have no idea what would have caused this. I haven't noticed anything in the plants around here and nothing before. I don't understand. But this is definitely something unnatural. He just sits there and thinks about it for a second. He just says, I know this is worrying you greatly. All of you seem to be very concerned about it, and you know that obviously you've earned my trust. That much you've definitely earned. He sits there and just says, I still feel like an army coming toward us is more of our concern.
This will guaranteed kill everyone in the area eventually. The Dwarvens, maybe. My personal recommendation isn't to move too far. It's to move far enough in the direction away from where the dwarves are coming so that by the time they catch up with you guys again, which they will do violently, they have this big bad magic shit to get through. The other option is that me and my friends stay here and do our duty as responsible citizens of the realm and burn the entire forest to make sure that this doesn't spread, and then you guys are left with no food source and no cover, and you're even worse off sitting ducks for the dwarves.
He
Or
nods.
we leave you to your own devices, and that could be even worse. We don't know what this is.
He nods and he says, "It's true. This, just the demeanor that you all have is convincing enough. But I agree. This is an important issue." He says, I think the best course of action for my people, if you think this is really something this urgent, would be to move maybe a day's hike up the river and refortify. If we do that, we're going to lose the benefits that we've had over the past day and a half of building up our structures. So we will be at disadvantage when the dwarves come in. But I will say this, we will not get away from the Dwarven army. They do not care about this settlement. They care about us. All of my experiences with them have been purely them not allowing us in these lands, which they consider to be their own. They don't want us anywhere but the Ember Coast, which we will not return to. So he says, I don't want you to sacrifice more time than is needed, because I really would love the sage wisdom of Kairos here as much as I could get. So my choice, it's ultimately up to you when you leave, but if we packed up and moved a day's hike north and resettled and rebuilt, we'd be at disadvantage from the army, but maybe far enough away from whatever this is. He says that would give us a little bit of a time help, though, with your return. He says, I trust you. I would. What would you recommend? He looks at all of you.
Out of character, what do we want to do? What do we want to recommend?
I mean, at this point, isn't it just ultimately up to him?
It's up to us, technically, I guess.
Yeah.
It's whatever we want
he's
to do.
willing to let us do it. But...
You could just
So we could
put
recommend
distance.
evacuation.
Yeah, you could just evacuate and just not burn it up and see what happens. You let the dwarves deal with whatever is like the potion.
True.
My concern would be that it spreads to where they move, but if they move upriver, I guess that's a better chance of it.
Lacie.
Well,
Was any of these plants talking inside the camp?
Right on the edge.
Right
On
the
the
edge of the camp.
edge.
So
Well-
what if we try burning the border of their camp?
Only, well, did
Keeping
we
it
find the flowers in like a circle around the camp, or do we
Well, I'm
have like
just
a
thinking-
shot out?
I'm just thinking straight up, why don't we just try burning the edges of their camp? That way, when the plants try to migrate, it'd be harder for them to move. I'm assuming I don't know too much about big bad magic,
Yeah.
but I think it'd be harder for plants to keep progressing this curse through dead plants because they're already burned.
Out of character, because my character's not smart enough to know this. It's probably
Mhm.
spreading through the water because we're in the riverland, and so it's like water underneath the ground.
I don't think what you're saying would matter
You
because
want
they
to go?
died and came back to life. I don't think this will matter, honestly.
Plants died, came back to life.
I'm out of character.
I was talking to you in character. I said
Okay, well,
Lacie.
Oh shit. Well,
You can say that you didn't tell me that. That's fair.
I was gonna say I was out of character for that, but like,
What if we recommend
Ugh.
to them that they build a trench about 15 feet deep around the camp so that root-wise nothing creeps in underground, and then we scorch just the outer perimeter of the forest surrounding the camp
Mm-hmm.
Let's do
and
that.
leave it
Okay.
at that.
that's
It's going to
yeah.
cost us some time on the road,
100%.
but they don't have to leave behind their fortifications. They can stay where they're at, and hopefully maybe this delays some of the process of how this spreads.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So how exactly do you explain this to him?
So
Lacey's gonna go up to him and she's just gonna look at him and she's gonna say, I know plants very well. I get what you're saying, and I understand that uprooting an entire colony is not easy. Turn this into strength training. Dig a trench 15 feet around and burn all around the camp. Make the magic wielders practice flame blade, practice spherical flame, anything that they know. Turn this into training for them so we don't lose time. And by all means, do not go into the forest. And you just see Lacie cry. And she's starting to break.
He nods, he puts his hand on your shoulder and he says, if this is what you recommend, I trust you. We'll dig a 15-foot trench around the camp. And you want us to burn how much of the forest on the outside? Or burn the trench?
At least the perimeter. I'm
At
thinking.
least the perimeter of your camp, burn everything. Grass, weeds, I don't care what it is. Burn it.
He nods and he says, we'll make a 15-foot trench around the camp. We'll burn all the any kind of plant, vegetation, life we can, all around the perimeter. And if you think that will isolate it, that might be the best of both worlds. He says we wouldn't have to uproot. We could keep our fortifications.
In worst case, it'll save you at least some more time.
He says a trench would help us, honestly, against the dwarves. Now, the only thing it would hurt us is maybe trying to escape, but
You want to keep your ground anyways.
he nods. He says, I think we'd all rather stay here and fight than leave the only home any of us have really felt in a long time.
How many magic users do you have in this?
He
This town.
thinks he's like a couple, very minor.
Teach them purify immediately.
He says, I don't know. I can ask if they know it, but I don't. This might be something that also Kairos could help with. He says, I'm not much of a knowledgeable person when it comes to magic and sorcery, and I'm much more of a sword and shield man myself, but we have a few spellcasters, so I'll have them do their best, read any kind of books we have, try and learn, purify, and in the meantime, we will burn, build the trench, and once that is complete, we'll continue with our fortifications.
You see Lacie slowly just recoil into herself. And you see her druid craft just this very simple little sunflower. She holds it really, really tight. And she walks towards the boat with no one. She doesn't want anyone talking to her right now. And she just starts crying. Because she knows that she's probably doomed this town.
As you get on and you just start like kind of sobbing the boat, you see Romulus be like, "All right, are we ready to go? Are you? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
God, Romulus.
Okay." And then you see Romulus going, "Romulus, what are you doing?" He's like, I'm sorry, Captain. I'm trying to. Never mind." And just kind of gets off the ship. And so Romulus looks at the rest of you and says, "I thank you again for everything you've done for us and the care you have given my people, something that we are not very used to with outsiders." He says, "We will take care of this. We'll deal with both of these issues equally, and we look forward to your return and very much so looking forward to Kairos' help and anything that he can suggest or help us with, I think will be very impactful."
Alright. You guys ready to go?
Time to go.
Cool. All right. So you guys gather whatever belongings you had in like the tent stuff and kind of board the ship. So really quickly, Rowless kind of shows you basically, of course, like, the wheel, the mast, how to like open it and close it, how to really basic sailing stuff. I mean, it's a big river, but it's not like the ocean. So it's not going to be crazy in terms of that aspect of sailing. Now he does tell you also about a couple things. He says, the Great River is beautiful, peaceful, life-bringing in many sections. In the section where we live, here. But there are parts that are untouched by civilization, that are powerful, dangerous, and unrelenting. He says there are many things to look out for, but the most important thing is to keep the ship intact. You don't want to be caught in the forest without this vessel to move you through the dangerous parts quickly. So be very cautious of rocks, waterfalls, anything that you might get into, and keep your guards up. Once you get after about a day's sail north is when you should be hitting these more dangerous parts, and then the second half of that day should be calmer again until you get to the monastery. But again, I cannot thank you enough for everything you've done for my people, and thank you for doing one more thing. And he gives you all kind of like like handshakes and stuff and nods, and he says, safe travels. We hope for it not to be too dangerous, but luckily I think that you all are quite capable from what I've seen. So he says, we'll be making all the preparations for both whatever's happening with the forest as well as the dwarves, and we hope to see you very soon, and hopefully with Kairos with you as well. So he thanks you one more time, gets off the boat. You see they've kind of like release the rope and stuff, and like the boat starts to, sails open up and everything, the mast is open, and starts to kind of head north. It's like, just like he said before, it's a very nice, calm journey as of now, and you guys are kind of settling down for the night. So essentially, this is you right before mechanically your long rest, and you're able to kind of rest, do anything else you might want to do before going to bed, because you know that tomorrow it's going to be you're gonna have to be you have your wits about you. So anything you guys would like to do?
Would I know about this river? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the monastery is on the side of the river, so you would definitely know parts of it. I mean, it's like a massive river.
Yeah.
That would be. It's kind of like a person in Mississippi knowing about the Mississippi River, right? Like you would know.
Yeah. Okay.
Some
so I
part
would
about
know
it.
at least a decent chunk of it.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
But
as
you
much as you knew,
you
but-
can definitely roll like a history or an insight check or anything. If you'd like to. What would you specifically would you like to know?
I guess, would there be any benefit of knowing what we might encounter?
Yeah, give me a guess history check.
Oh, sorry. That's fine.
You can do it with advantage, actually.
Ooh. Oh, that's a 20, not
Oh,
nat
yeah.
20.
Okay. Let's see if we can
That, no.
Close,
No.
close.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, yeah.
so a very good roll. I mean, you definitely know a good amount about this river. The part that you're in, the monastery is in, it is more peaceful, kind of like what you're experiencing right now. But you have heard stories of not only strange actions from. I mean, there are normal like wildlife that act very strange in certain parts of this river. You don't really know why. Nobody knows why. That you've talked to, nobody would know why. But you do also know that not only that, but sometimes the actual river itself has been told to act strange in certain dark areas that are less inhabited, as well as the plant life also has kind of reportedly a mind of its own. So there's kind of three different elements, all working in mysterious ways. You know that there's definitely dark magic in parts of this. Again, not sure maybe its origin, but you do know that there is that, and also parts of the river that are treacherous in terms of sharp rocks, things that can be detrimental to ships. It's not super common to sail a ship on the Great River, especially in this part, and you know that.
And I'm assuming we're going to a place that I know, right?
You're going to the monastery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So that's where you're going. So you will know once you get there. You'll know very well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
That's your home, right?
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was making sure it wasn't like he relocated after something.
No.
It's okay. That's well.
Because I think actually mechanically you've only been really gone like a week and a half or so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Jeez.
yeah, it's been a crazy couple days. Cool. Rest of you guys. What'd you like to do? Anything?
Just rest.
Cool.
I sidebar with Lacie, and
Okay.
I ask her if she can help me read any of the books that she found and learn a little bit more about spellcasting.
So the books are the red book is the History of Rune. The green book is titled Gods of the Realm, and the golden book is Artificers, Architects, and Machinery. Which book would you like to look at? None of them are spellcasting
Right.
specific.
Can you read to me from the Gods and Myths book and teach me more about Silefer?
I would say, you could, talk a lot about Silefer even without the book, right? You see like kind of a small passage in the book about Silefer. It's kind of like an underrated
This isn't
god.
big enough.
It's definitely like very much so, a god that maybe a lot of people wouldn't even be knowledgeable about, right? But of course, this god inside and out. So you could tell them all about, Silefer's powers, his influence on you growing up, and how why you do what you do, how you do what you do, magically speaking. But you could definitely inform about all aspects of this god. So, anything specifically you'd like to know about the god?
No.
Okay. So, Lacie, it's really just whatever you'd like to share.
She's gonna look at him and say, I really don't want to talk about him tonight. And instead of that, she's going to look through the Artificer's book, which is the last book that she would ever want to read, because she feels like she betrayed Xylophur right now.
Okay.
So she's going to look through that book and start looking for anything that she might have missed instead.
So you ghost Pale Scales, which is kind of fair for spying on you earlier.
Yeah.
So she just kind of I guess just says no, turns away from you. Now I don't know, Pale Scales able to read or
I can read.
Okay, cool. So you said that so unconvincing.
Probably not well. I know Draconic and Common, but
okay,
I don't
well,
know
they
how
are all
literate
uncommon.
I am.
They are all
Just
uncommon.
read.
Yeah.
Pig trough.
Well, so you can do that. Would you like to look at any of the book, the God's book yourself, and kind of look up Xylophur?
I would actually like to look up. Did Rhaego tell us the name of that god of war?
Yes, and
yes.
I should have had that before.
Hextor.
I would like to look
thank
up
you.
Hextor in the book.
Cool. Go ahead. You read the book. There's a passage on Hextor. Go ahead and give me a history check.
17. And let's see what my history is.
Intelligence. It's intelligence.
Is it? I don't think I'm proficient. It's +0, so 17.
Okay, gotcha. So you look up.
Somehow.
You look up Hextor, this god of, battle, of war, of blood, carnage, and at first you're reading this book. What was your history roll again?
17.
Okay, cool. So the way this works is you're kind of reading this passage, and it's just very kind of plain spoken. But as you read it, you're kind of, it's not so much something mystical, but it's there's kind of more to the book that your check is kind of helping you understand. So the text you're reading, and it just kind of the basic stuff like that and all this kind of stuff. But as you're reading it, you it helps you put not only your own knowledge of the world into use, but also, of course, its relation to the Circle of Fire and all that kind of stuff, as you know that they are connected. So as you're reading this, you see all these things about, this is a god who is considered to be evil among evil gods. This is the dude, right? This is the bad, not the dude, but this is the bad dude. In kind of this pantheon, right? And so essentially, this is a god who is known to do anything just to initiate bloodshed. You also know with your role that the Circle of Fire, from what you've heard, has been literally trying to reinstate, and this is what Rhaego has kind of helped to talk about, reinstate the Forever War, and kind of try and increase as much just battle among these different factions as possible. You know as well from this that it doesn't seem like the Circle of Fire necessarily cares about the Tiefling side or the human side. Just seems that was kind of the side they were on, because it seemed to have been the best way to initiate the most destruction and murder possible. And you also know that based off of how this god acts and what he's trying to do, and always trying to become initiate this battle is that he feeds off of this violence. And so exactly how it works, you're not sure, but you know that this is a very, very bad, evil god, and he becomes more powerful with bloodshed. And the Circle of Fire seems to be trying to do that to feed him. You're not sure of to what end. Anybody else? Others? Oh, sorry, you had... Yeah, I'm sorry, you did.
I'm looking through the Artificer book to see if I can figure out what that feeling that I had when I first picked up the books. I want to see if it's in this one.
Yeah. So you go ahead and give me a intelligence roll.
So
Nat 20.
Dude, the amount of times... Just straight intelligence?
Yeah, if you have modifiers, obviously you can use those, yeah.
That's a 16.
Okay. This is foreign to you, but you are determined. You're digging through and trying to kind of sift through this. It's essentially if you're like, let's say, a theater student and you picked up like a 401, physics book. You'd be kind of like,
so real life.
This is not. This is not. You're kind of like, so this. You're reading this. You're kind of like, this is not my forte. But damn it, I want to do something productive right now. And through that power of will, you're able to kind of decipher some of the complexities of what they're talking about. It's very dry. It is very technical. But one thing you kind of realize as you're reading through this is that a lot of these like contraptions and these mechanisms that they're talking about and different ways to build different machines and things like that, as well as engineering and building, this feels almost like the blueprint to what you saw in Rune. You walked through and you kept seeing everywhere this kind of like these mechanical contraptions, almost like growing, like we said, like a weed throughout the city. And it felt like it was not natural, but it kind of melded and became part of the city and something that actually gives the city a little bit of a charm, right? And the more you read about this, the more it's kind of talking about this machinery. And something that does resonate with you is how certain contraptions and machinery and design can, in a lot of ways, become almost symbiotic and can grab on and meld itself almost like actual like fauna, flora, like vegetation and such, and kind of grow similar to like the ship that you guys pulled out of the forest. You had trees growing on top of it. That feels very similar to what you experienced in Ruin. And the more you read here, the more you kind of can feel like something made Ruin different. It was not always like this, and more consistent insight into this book is probably going to show you why exactly this, Rune looks the way it does. You also get the feeling like you're getting a third of the story. Cool. Anything else, guys, before your long rest? Cool. All right. Sorry, was that something, Dan?
No.
Okay. So you guys go ahead and do your long rest. It's really calm on the water. It's just kind of getting dark. You know that you do not have to be on guard right now. You know you're going to be okay. You guys take a long rest. Everything is fully recovered. I would love Madras.
Ooh.
As you fall asleep, you see the same green flame in your dreams. And you feel this sickening sensation, mixed with this revolting kind of feeling, this almost kind of nauseous feeling, and fear. And you hear, you see this in the kind of this green flames, slowly a figure kind of approached to you, and it is this slender, very tall, black hooded figure whose face you cannot see, and it reaches out like it's not bony, it's not like a skeletal hand, but it's like essentially no muscle, no fat. It's like skin on bone, right? It's very gaunt and sickly looking, and with long, kind of sharp nails, and reaches out towards you, and it just says, "There is much to do, little one." And go ahead and give me a Constitution roll.
Let's do it, baby.
Just checking. That's fair.
You're fine.
Oh, yes.
You wake up in like a cold sweat, and you realize it was just a dream. But it does feel like there was more to that. And you remember that green flame feeling you felt when in that imagery kind of burned into your brain as you were talking to Rattless. So you know something's at work here, but you are able to eventually get back to sleep and get your full rest. Don't have another nightmare as you sleep. You all awake. Pale Scales, you have an aching sensation in your stub. And you don't even have to give me a roll. It's purely because it's a mangled hand. It's natural, kind of comes with the territory.
Just reminding you.
Just letting you know
Yeah.
that you done goofed. Yeah. Cool. So as you guys wake up, the river looks the same. It's kind of morning now. You know, dusk is starting to kind of part, and the sun's getting higher. The river looks the same, but it feels different. It feels like you're being watched. And you really don't know if that, like, you kind of, you know, individually, you're kind of thinking to yourselves, like, we know that there's aspects to this that are going to be, you know, tricky and definitely dark magic afoot and things like that. But you just kind of, like, it's just kind of like this weird feeling that, like, something's just watching you. Kind of weird. And you know it's just kind of this chill you're getting. It's not like you're rolling a perception and you know somebody's watching you. You just get this weird, eerie kind of vibe. As you guys get up, steadily, as you're up, it's probably like 8-ish, 9-ish in the morning, the river's getting rougher. You are definitely starting to approach these areas that Rowless was telling you about. You know that there's going to be some, you know, stuff you're going to have to deal with on this river. So you guys are kind of getting up ready, and as the river starts to get more and more chaotic, roll initiative.
Nat 20, yeah!
4.
So
Nat 20?
Yeah, of course I would.
Jeez.
4.
Okay, I'm going first. What are we doing?
10.
Oh, listen, everybody else gets a nat 20 too.
I got a 17.
Okay. You get
4. It's great.
Modified, it was a 24, if that matters. So
it does not. Sorry, Madge, what did you get again? You got a 17?
Oh, I got a 22.
Holy shit. Okay.
ooh.
Wow, nice. Pale Scales, you got a 17? Was that you?
No, I had
No,
a
I
10.
got a 17,
Oh, okay,
but
okay.
I didn't add my
Plus 5
my
initiative.
plus 5 initiative.
You got a plus 5 initiative?
Okay. Lacey, you got a 4, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Killing
Alright, so I'm going to tell you guys how mechanically this is going to work, right?
Ooh.
But before we get to that, let me tell you about today's sponsor. Hi guys, Cole here. I just want to quickly take a minute and tell you about today's sponsor for this episode, which is actually my company, Jarvis Media Consolidated. Whether you run a small practice or a larger business, or you're just kind of making content to put on YouTube with your friends, like what we do, you may need social media services. And that's where we come in. Jarvis Media Consolidated is a company that partners with small to medium-sized companies to help them distribute their social media content across any kind of platform and get more leads, more brand exposure, and ultimately help your business grow using the power of social media. So whether you're running a podcast and you want to get that distributed on a platform, or you need some ads, or even just some simple social media content to put on your pages so you're not completely ignoring all social media platforms out there, we've got you covered. Feel free to call us anytime to talk about any kind of inquiries and work that we might be able to do together. You can call us at 315-751-8103 or email us at info@jarvismedia.biz. That's info@jarvismedia.biz. Thank you guys so much and enjoy the rest of the episode. Your ship has 100 hit points, basically.
Okay.
You need, and you know this is the most important thing that Raul has told you, was that the ship's integrity is the only thing that's going to keep you guys alive here, right? So that is really important. As you go through, every round, I'm going to have one of you roll a d20. And that is going to determine what happens.
Okay.
Nothing to remember. If something happens and it's not resolved, it will stay there until the issue will be there until it's resolved.
Italy.
So every round, you're going to roll another one. So things can stack,
Okay.
is all I'm going to say. Okay, so we jump into this. I'm going to say with your nat 20, Sebog, you basically get a little bit of a like a head start here. So I'm going to have Matters roll me a d20.
You got a 9.
Okay.
What does it mean?
Sinister
Cool.
little smile.
Okay, so you rolled this. Sebog, you notice this first, and you're going to get basically an advantage of this because you are able to prepare better than anybody else here. You notice in the distance, as you're kind of prepping, you just happen to be looking toward the front of the ship, and you are starting to not only see the water kind of like get really rough on like a little bit of like a lip, but you also can hear the sound of cascading water. And you are very aware suddenly that there's a waterfall that you guys are heading toward. You're not sure exactly how far it is, but you know there's a waterfall coming. You know also to brace, and you can of course share this with me.
So we're about to hit a waterfall, guys. We need to brace ourselves and hopefully figure out something for the boat too.
So you because you kind of used your section 2 or your turn, not that there's much else you could do to kind of warn them. I'm gonna say everybody, you're gonna get the chance to roll a strength check with advantage, and the ship is on initiative. Actually, Madras, you're gonna get a turn to do something right now.
Okay.
So you're basically, this happens on initiative 20. You go first, you got a nat 20, you have a 22,
Yeah.
and you guys are going over the waterfall on initiative 20. So you get a turn before to do something. You also can do something, you just noticed it first.
So we're bracing ourselves for this thing.
Yes,
Okay.
you don't want to fall off the ship. There's not much you
and
can do about the waterfall.
Would we know what kind of save it would be? Would it?
You know that the ship is about to go off and that you need to stay on the ship, so you know you're going to need to hold on for dear life. So strength, yeah, exactly.
Can I use shell defense?
Okay.
I'm going to withdraw on my shell. Until I emerge, I gain a bonus 4 at my AC, and I have advantage on strength and con saves.
Okay, I'm going to say... lore-wise, you find a way to kind of retreat in your shell and just kind of lodge yourself in between, like a spoke of like the side of the boat and like the mast or something. You're just able to kind of be like, "Hey guys, shit's about to get real," and just literally retreat into your shell. Madras, you now get to do something before you go over this waterfall.
I don't have anything I can really do.
Okay, you can just brace.
I'm gonna just brace. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So everybody, give me a strength saving throw.
Is
as
there
you brace.
something I can use instead of my strength? I feel like I remember hearing that I could do either strength or something.
For-
There are
weapon.
there are certain
For
weapons that
certain
are
weapons.
This is
versatile.
Never mind then.
Yeah.
specifically.
Cool, just checking.
Did you say this was an advantage?
You are all going to get advantage,
Okay.
yes, because Sebog warned you.
Oh.
We can roll advantage.
Okay, cool,
Oh.
perfect, thank you.
Yeah, you need another one.
17.
Okay.
I rolled 6 twice.
So the first one I got a 2, and with my -1 strength, it's a 1.
Oh,
And then
no.
I got a 4, and then
It's a 3.
You got a
so-
3.
Okay.
I got an 8.
Okay, this ship just goes hurling over this waterfall. It goes like literally almost, straight down at one part. It's not, it's like probably 20 meters. As it hits the water, you guys are shook. What did you get in your strength?
17.
Okay, you're able to kind of grab on to some of the wood beams and stuff and hold yourself in there. Sebog, you're lodged in there. You are basically a part of the ship right now. What did you get on your roll?
20.
Yeah, you're fine. You guys, as soon as it hits, you were aware, but you just weren't quite positioned in as advantageous of a spot. As it hits the water, you guys go straight over the top of the bow and into the water.
How far is the fall from the bow to the water?
I mean, if you're on the bow, bow's the front of the ship, right? If you're right on the bow, let's say, then you're gonna fall it's not gonna hurt you.
Like 20 feet?
10 feet probably.
Oh,
if you're right on the
yeah.
bow. If you're at the back, it'd be 50 feet.
Okay.
But either way, it's not really gonna hurt you there. You're just in the water now.
Okay.
So okay, that comes back to that's Pale Scale's turn. So you can go ahead and try and make a strength saving throw to kind of climb up the side of the ship if you'd like to. There is a ladder kind of built into the side that you should be able to climb up, but it is rapids. It's kind of difficult water.
Okay.
So go ahead and give me a strength roll.
Nat 1.
Okay. Okay. You start to climb up, and it is just slippery. You have one hand. You just slide right off the top and kind of go back under the water. And you just know this is not a spot where you want to be right now.
Fair enough.
Cool. That will be Lacey's turn. So, Lacie, you see this. You see that they have both fallen over. There is rope. You can throw rope to try and help them out and give them advantage on climbing up, if you'd like to. Or you can cast something. You have your turn to do something.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw down a rope to them.
Which ones?
I'm gonna go to Pale Scales.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna throw down a rope to Pale Scales and yell, "Grab on!"
Okay, cool. All right, you go ahead and do that, and Pale Scales, you're gonna have advantage when you get the chance to do this next time. And then that will go back up to Sebog.
I'm gonna get out of my shell. That's action. Is there any bonus action thing that I can do to try to help them?
I don't know. You can use bonus actions.
Can
Yeah,
you,
okay.
Can you move towards me and grab me?
Oh yeah, can I go use my movement to go to her and brace her for when he gets up? I don't know. If that's
Use the help action.
Yeah, I guess help action.
I'm gonna say that there's not too much you
More.
can do. This rope is like throwing it to them and helping them grab it is the biggest thing. The rope is attached to the ship, so
Okay.
you know it's not gonna
Oh,
pull
okay.
you
Oh,
off.
okay, I thought I was
Right.
just holding a rope.
Yeah. Now, if you
Um,
wanted to, you could dive into the water, try and grab him and the rope if you wanted to. I would give you an acrobatics and a strength if you wanted to. Obviously, it's risky.
Can I?
You a good swimmer?
I do have swim speed, so hopefully that means I can swim.
That's why I offered it. It feels like it's your domain.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll jump in. Try to. Yeah, because you're gonna have a turn before she hits a fan again. So yeah, I'll grab.
Cool.
Grab Pale Scales.
So you jump in. Go ahead and give me an acrobatics 10 or higher, and you should be fine. It's not going to be too hard to jump over to kind of get to him, and then you're going to give me a strength to try and grab onto the rope.
I got a 10.
Okay, awesome. So you're able to jump into the water right next to Pale Scales. Not too difficult because he's still right next to the ship.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously he is starting to kind of fall back. So you jump in, you're able to grab onto him, and now give me a strength 15 or higher to grab onto the rope and pull up. So this is going to help you kind of get up all the way.
That's a 16.
16. Cool. All right, you're able to grab him, and with your strength, it's more difficult because you're carrying two people, yourself and him. You're able to grab onto the rope and start to make your way up. So I'm going to say, mechanically, you are both back onto the ship now. You're able to kind of throw him over the edge and climb up yourself. So great turn. That will now be Matters.
Okay, so I just have to try to pull myself up.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Okay, I got a 17.
Yeah, you're
Thank
able to
goodness.
kind of get on the side. It's just you in this situation, not even as hard. So you're able to kind of get to the side of the ship and start to kind of make your way up. Definitely, you're right next to the ship right now, so you're able to kind of get up there. So you are all good. Awesome. It is a great time to roll a d20, Dame.
That is a 6.
6. Okay, cool. You get back onto the ship. Ship's covered in water, right? Just kind of get it all together. You look over. As soon as you get back on the ship, you look over. There's another waterfall coming. So now the ship starts to go back over again. Everybody, give me a strength saving throw again.
13.
Okay.
16.
Okay.
21.
It's a modified
I got
one.
It's not a
It's
nat
not
one.
a nat one. It's a modified one. She's
Okay.
too much.
You got a
Second
1. Sorry, what did you get?
there.
Fail skills.
I got 13.
Okay.
16.
Okay.
21.
Okay, everybody's able to stay on besides Matters. You just get up, you're like, wow, that sucked. And as soon as you hit the waterfall again, you just go, the fall us off again, you just you realize, you get basically on the top of the ship, and then suddenly it's like the ship just kind of like, disappears from under you.
That's
You're like,
great.
what the fuck? And then you just fall into the water again as you're back in the water, like, son of a bitch. And then that will be Pale Scale's turn. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it's Pale Scale's turn. You guys are messing with me. You have both two people in front of initiative 20.
I attempt to throw the rope to Mattress.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah, I already forgot what I had. I had you throw a, you just threw the rope,
Strength,
right?
right? Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good. That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
I thought I gave you a check for it by accident.
No.
Cool. Yeah, you're just able to throw the rope with your action. Okay,
Perfect.
cool.
Yeah.
So that's gonna give you advantage on climbing up on your turn. That will go to Lacie.
I don't think anything I can do will help right now. I don't think there's anything I can do.
You can ready an action, maybe, if you want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna ready an action. If she cannot get up, I'm going to prepare wild shape.
Very cool. All right. Cool. That will go up to Sebog.
I'm gonna
Just means I'll exercise reaction.
try to do the same thing.
Okay.
I feel like.
So what just happened basically, especially because this happens all very quickly. The ship went overboard. They fell out. You were able to jump out there and help bring Pale Scales back up. Right. As soon as you get to the top, you just get a second to brace. Hits another waterfall. She goes off. So you basically climbed up, went to another waterfall, and then just dove on the other side. You're basically just climbing up and just jumping over to the other side, and are able to go in there. So go ahead and
Do
give
a
me
cannonball.
an acrobatics. All you got to do is get a 10 or higher to get to her.
That's higher than
Yeah,
Oh,
and then go ahead and give me that 15 strength or higher.
That's 18.
Damn,
roll.
this is Sebog's domain right now.
Okay. Much better than a building.
You're able to grab on and you're just like, okay, this is my time to shine. This is Sebog's moment. And you're just kind of scaling it with Madras over your shoulder, basically. Cool, you get back up to the top. Madras, that is now your turn. You are safe and sound, again, on the ship. For who knows how long.
Yeah,
For
I'm
at
bracing.
least your turn.
Nothing I can do.
Okay, nothing you want to do right now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That will, so you can ready an action if you'd like to. But what that means is you basically hold off your action until a better time for you. You just have to use it before your next turn.
Mm-hmm.
You can just do that in case something happens that you want to react to, in a
Since I
couple.
basically ruined your
I
action. Did you
still don't have anything I can do.
Yeah. Okay.
So
But readying an action doesn't hurt. So you want to just ready
Yeah,
that?
sure,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Yeah, just hold on to it in case something happens. Because right now we're about to roll the next thing.
okay.
Okay, that will be Allie. Go ahead and roll. And don't get a 5 through 10.
18.
Ooh.
18's great.
Cracking.
You get back up and you're just like, I'm so fucking ready for a waterfall. And for a second, you just have a little bit of a calm, and everybody's fine.
I haven't gone over.
Yeah.
Only one.
Hey, I've gone over intentionally, okay?
Cool. So everybody,
So
so right now everybody's fine. Go ahead and whose turn is it? Sorry. Now it is Pale Scale's turn. So you have a second to breathe. Nothing probably really you need to do right now, but if you want to cast something to prepare, whatever you want to do, you can. Right now you have a beat.
I'm good.
Okay. Cool. That will go to Lacie. Anything you want to do?
I'm gonna cast a cantrip Thorn Whip, and I'm just gonna have one at my side just in case we get anything ready.
Cool.
That's
okay.
it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. That will go back up to Sebog.
Can I see if anything's happened to the ship because of this waterfall?
Yes. I'm a fucking idiot. Yes. That is great.
I mean,
you guys are not
nothing
going to get
happened. Don't worry
disadvantage.
about it.
You're that kid that told the teacher they missed the
I didn't
homework.
mean though.
First one's in that one. So I'm totally messed this up. When you get the waterfall does impact the ship. You can hear it as it's falling, creak and moan. It's barely seaworthy, and you're taking it off like a fucking ramp, essentially. So the first one, every time it goes off a waterfall, it is a d20 roll of damage. First one was a 1. So you
Oh,
guys
so
are
that's
set.
good. Okay.
So you got 1 point, so 99 health of the ship. Second one is a 9, so you're at 90 health for the ship.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. All right, that will be back to Madras. Anything you'd like to do? You can try this. Obviously, didn't apply before, but you can try to repair the ship with an intelligence roll.
Oh, cool.
It's going to be a d20 plus your. Okay, cool.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
wait.
I got a 19 plus 4.
Hell yeah! Okay, you're able to kind of piece together some parts of the ship, kind of like bang it back into place, trying to stop any leaks from kind of forming, and the ship looks as good as it did before, which is not great, but okay. So you're able to do that, which is great. And now we will go to Nate. If you want to roll me a d20, please don't get a 5 for 10.
I'm gonna make sure it is. 18.
18. Wow, you're fine again. You're able to rest for a second.
Damn.
Nice. Okay, cool. Anything you guys would like to do in this time, or we can just kind of skip to the next roll?
I'm ready to rest.
Yeah.
Just rest.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
cool.
that's good.
That will come. So you guys are all just basically going to skip your turn in this time,
Yeah,
right?
essentially,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So we'll go back to the next roll, which will be you, Becca, if you want to roll a d20 for what happens next.
Try for 5 through 10.
Don't do 5. Please.
15.
Ooh.
Cool. Sharp rocks. As the ships are sailing through, and you guys had a couple seconds to just kind of get your bearings, you kind of got thrown into it crazy right at the start. You start to notice these like sharp rocks coming up in the distance. River's not super narrow to be able to kind of navigate out of the way, and the ship kind of just hits part of the side of it, which is going to do a d10 of damage. That is only 3 damage, so we're down to 97 health. You guys are doing fine right now. Cool. That will be anything you guys want to do. That will be Sebog first.
I mean,
Want to repair?
yeah.
Okay.
I guess.
There's nothing much else you can do right
Yeah,
now.
I'm like, so what is it? It's just my roll plus intelligence?
It's just your intelligence. Yeah. A roll. Yeah, exactly.
7.
Okay, you bring it back up to power. Man, this is a really funny way this is happening.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that will go. If you guys want to skip again, we can jump to Dame your roll for the ship.
12.
It's more sharp rocks coming up. Jeez, this is not the way I thought it would go at all. Okay, so the sharp rocks kind of continue. The ship starts to get banged up a little bit more, brings down the health slightly, down to 98 health. Still looking quite good.
Perfect.
That will be Sebog's turn. You want to try to repair again?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I don't think I can't not heal him back. I got a 4.
Okay, awesome. Okay, yeah, also 100% back to health. Okay, that will be, if you guys want to skip, it's going to jump to Allie's turn now.
13. More sharp rocks.
Get some more sharp rocks going
Yeah.
in. Okay, that's going to bring you back to 7, so you're down to 93 health. The lowest it's ever been.
It's gonna stay at 100. I'm
Right,
going right
even
It's not
change the
good.
number.
Can I I roll a perception check to see if there's anything else around us that, like, when I said, like, because we could feel people were watching us.
Yeah.
Can I roll a perception check to see if...
Totally,
like,
yeah. If you want to take your turn to
awesome.
use a perception check, totally.
Okay. 17.
17. You feel like there's a presence around you. It doesn't really feel like you're being, like, stalked or, like, watched necessarily. But it feels like there's something kind of... It's really hard to explain, but it's not like a sentient person, like, following you, but it feels like there is something kind of around you. And you do notice this kind of really strange, like, yellowish flower that's all around the sides of the river, which you're not 100% sure of what that might be, but it looks suspicious.
What sauce?
That
Sussy.
would
Sussy was.
be
Sussy
Sebog.
I mean, I technically used to heal it back up. My turn to heal.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, I'm sorry. That was kind of out of order.
Oh, I'm
right?
sorry,
Yeah, that was a little bit out of order. We
Sorry,
just
it was supposed
needed-
to be Magic's turn.
Ship's on full repairs.
It's all
it's
full
everything's
repaired.
good
Yep.
right now.
The perception check's already done on Lacey's end of things. Would I be able to do one for myself though, or is that for the party?
Yeah, you can do a better
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
yeah.
You try to get even more. I mean, what'd you get? Like a 17?
Yes.
So you're gonna have to, yeah. So she got a pretty good one, but you can definitely try to get a higher one.
Do we know? Or you can tell us about that stuff?
I got a 15 plus 3, which is an 18.
Oh, okay. You kind of notice the same thing. And it feels you can actually see this flowery plant. As you kind of go by, like you normally would like see like the boats going, and then you just see like a plant go by.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that as you go by it feels like it's kind of staying with you, and so these flowers are kind of like grouping up, like as you're kind of getting farther. Really weird stuff. But you know that this is not a friendly plant. This is something strange, and it looks like it's kind of building up. That will be the roll for the ship. I don't even know whose
it's
turn
my
it is.
turn.
Please roll something interesting.
No.
One. Nat one.
It's a 3.
Yes!
I
Okay.
get the
Oh.
lucky stone.
Of course.
Roll me a d4.
Oh no!
Oh god.
Oh, no. Do I get to add my lucky stone to this thing?
No.
No, I would assume
It's
not. I would
actually,
assume not.
you could if you want to.
But it doesn't.
But you would
They're
have
all
no
different
idea what it
things.
would
Yeah,
be.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
really is not going to help you.
It's a 4.
Cool. That would have been a 5. It would have helped you. No, I'm kidding.
It would have not existed.
Very interesting and kind of perfect.
That's good.
As you kind of prepare, you've been just watching these like rocks come up and these waterfalls come up, and you're just focused on the sea, right? Like you're the river. You're just kind of like, what the hell is this like the terrain going to be like next? And as two of your companions have already kind of picked up on, there are these weird yellow plants growing kind of next to you. These flowers kind of following you. They have these you kind of start to all notice these like thorny kind of vines coming in closer, and you notice that not only these really kind of bright yellow like bulbs or whatever, but you also have like these purplish kind of leaves on the side too. So as they come in, you notice that they finally just kind of really gather up to like a lot of just, you see tons of yellow on your sides, and right now it's like vibrant. Like you notice this. It's kind of like forming like a tunnel starting to go over you too. And then these guys go ahead and start to shoot out at all of you, these like vines with these yellow flowers. Everybody, give me just dexterity checks.
Ooh.
13.
19. I rolled a 10.
I have a 15.
19, 15,
Dexterity.
13. Okay. Yours is a fail. I'm sorry, what was yours again?
15.
Okay, 15, and then yours 19. Okay, you passed.
2,
Sebog passes.
8.
And fail. So you guys are going to take...
Nailed it.
Oh no. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Saving throw?
You both failed, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you both take 20 psychic damage
Oh my
as these petals
God.
hit
Oh,
you and
shit.
kind of explode with this
Oh
little
my
purple
God.
mist. You like inhale it and then just kind of feel like you're starting to kind of lose your mind a little bit. As it does, like the after it hits you and kind of explodes a little bit, the dead plant pieces of it just kind of fall on the sides. And so you take 20, and then you guys take 10 each.
What have I done?
I don't know if that was you.
Oh, true.
I don't know if that was you. I think that was just where we're at.
Okay, that was initiative 20, so now it's Pale Scale's turn.
God, if that was you, that trench isn't doing shit for
It's, to be fair, it's not like anything you've seen so far.
Okay,
It's
okay,
very
yeah,
different
okay.
looking.
Okay.
So it's
They're not dying.
a tunnel of flowers over us?
They kind of like were building, and then they kind of like shot off these branches at you guys, or these like thorns at you guys with flowers at the end. And then after they had done that, you see they're kind of like, the ship starts to kind of get away from
So
it.
we're past the flowers.
Yes, for now.
As long as we don't do bad again.
Mm. No, I don't do anything. I ready in action, but there's nothing I can really do.
Okay. All right, you ready in action? That will be Lacey's turn.
Fuck. Goddamn. Okay. I'm going to cast Flame Blade and just have it on my side, so I have my Thorn Whip and the Flame
Blade?
Blades. So I'm just gonna double
Badass.
wield these babies.
Hell
Fancy.
yeah. Okay, awesome. Cool, that will come up to Sebog.
I got nothing.
Okay, what do you want to do? All right, it will go to Madras.
I'm gonna use color spray on the flowers that are
We're
on.
past them.
Oh, we got past.
Yeah,
them.
you started to
My
pass
bad.
them. Yeah. But if you want to do anything in preparation, you can.
You can
Then
ready
I'm
that.
just gonna what?
You can ready colors.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ready.
Okay, cool. All right, then that will be whoever's turn it is next to roll for the bow.
Madras.
Oh, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, roll that d20.
Yeah. I just rolled a great.
I got a 9 again. So let's go.
Oh no.
Let's go, Rex.
Okay, great.
No, that's the waterfall.
Let's
Oh, that's the
go.
waterfall.
That's the waterfall.
You just kind of recover from that. You're like, what the fuck with those flowers? And then as soon as you kind of just look over, you start to hear like that, that
familiar-
falling water, and you're like, oh, son of a bitch, here we go again. God, cool. Go ahead and everyone roll a strength saving throw.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Yes, I got an 18.
Nice.
Yeah,
You're able to kind of stabilize yourself. 18?
8.
8? Ooh, okay.
6.
6? Okay. Flame
Back
Blade got to
over.
get dusted.
12.
Okay. You are able. I don't remember what I gave you before, but I think it was supposed to be a 10. So I think you're going to be okay.
Cool.
You both. Where was it? An 8 and a 4? Is that correct?
6.
Or 6?
Oh, 4.
You guys, both are unable to brace.
We fall off.
Pale Scales, you are like getting ready for it, and you're about to like grab your arm around the sail, and then you realize it's your hook hand, and then as you do, it just kind of like slides clean off, and just you fall into the water.
Oof.
Your hook is still on.
Yeah,
It's just that you
Just
subconsciously
grab.
thought to grab with like a hand with fingers, and you're just like tink, and you're like, oh shit,
Oh no.
flew right off.
Perfect.
You are just so ready for like more flowers. Like I'm gonna fuck you up, and then this waterfall just takes you for a turn. And you guys both fall off into the water.
Yep.
That will be Pale Scale's turn. If you want to try and
Strength
swim
check
back.
to get back up?
Yeah.
18.
Cool. Yeah, you're able to kind of swim and start to climb back up.
Nailed it.
That will be Lacie.
Let's try to get back up. Nope. That's
Oh,
an 8.
no. Okay, so you try to get up, and then your hand just keeps slipping off the side as you notice the ship is It hasn't passed you yet, but it's starting to move past you as it's sailing forward.
Bye, guys.
So that will be back up to Sebog's turn.
I'm jumping in.
All right, classic. Give me that acrobatics. You gotta get a 10 here to get right next to
Please,
her.
thanks. That's gonna be a 10.
You're able to do it. Yeah, that makes it. So you're able to jump in, just barely get within grabbing distance. You're able to grab Lacie.
Dex 7, so I don't know. That's 15. That is a 15.
That's you said dex? It's supposed to be a strength.
Strength for this one.
Yeah. There's going to be a 15 to grab her and pull her up.
That's not gonna be 15. That's gonna be 12.
Okay. You start to swim close. You're starting to, almost keep up, and it's falling behind just a tad bit. That will be Madras' turn.
Can I just throw them the rope?
You can throw them rope. Yeah, totally do that in your action. Okay, if you throw your rope, that is able to help give you guys
I am
advantage.
still holding on a rope because that's what part of the diving off was, right? So
It's just a dive straight in
Oh,
without
okay,
the rope.
that's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
So it's kind of like an instinctual thing. You just kind of do it when it happens. So the rope is thrown to you guys. That'll give you advantage as you guys go back up. So that will be the next roll. Whose turn is it for the ship?
It's him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have to really quickly. 6 damage to the ship. Okay. Ship's doing fine. What?
What's
18.
The ship is at 94 right now. 18 on your roll. That will be fine. So you get a second, a breather, and to hold on as your companions try to climb back onto the ship. That will be Pale Scales. Your turn.
I try to repair the ship.
Cool. That makes sense. I was like, why didn't you throw a rope? And I realized you guys have a rope. Cool.
He just rolled an 18.
Okay, you're back up. Ship's doing fine.
Nice.
We should just go inside and just keep preparing the ship.
Yeah. Come on. Okay, cool. That will be back to Lacie.
So
So you have advantage now to try to go up. Now, you can try and swim back or climb back up by yourself. I'm going to say you're able to leave the rope there for Sebog, but it's going to be a 10 that you have to get to climb back up. It's going to be a 15 you have to get to kind of bring him with you.
Leave me.
how am I gonna bring him with
You can't carry it
You have
through.
an advantage, but it is a 15. Strength.
Leave me. I'm fine.
What do you want to do for your roll?
I know.
What do you want to
I'm a swimmy boy.
do?
I'm a swimmy boy.
Go
I'm
by
fine.
myself. Go by myself. Oh Jesus.
Oh, God. I didn't
13.
8? Oh, by yourself, though.
Yes, you're able to do that.
By
Okay, cool.
myself,
You're
yeah.
able to climb back up by
Cool.
yourself. So you start to climb up. The rope is still there for Sebog, and it is Sebog's turn.
Woo! I'm going to go.
Strength, all you gotta do is get a 10. You do have advantage. The rope is still there.
I had to roll 5. 16.
Okay, cool. You're able to climb up right behind Lacie and get back up.
Thank God.
Cool. That would be Matters. Anything?
Was that my action?
No, we're chilling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that?
I'm good.
Okay, cool. That will be the ship. Crap, sorry, is it?
I see.
11.
11. You get some sharp rocks coming up. So it starts to ding up the ship on the side a little bit. That is 9 damage, so you're down to 91 right now. That will be...
Pale
Pale
Scales, right?
Skills.
Yeah, it's Pale
Yes,
Skills.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Pale.
So weird with this order. Okay, Pale Skills.
I will repair the ship. Is that something I can
Yeah,
do?
you can do
Or is
that.
it
Yeah,
for
give me intelligence. Yeah,
13.
brings it back to 100.
Nice.
The series of rolls has been very interesting
Yeah.
for this. I thought it was going to be much more difficult. You guys are doing okay.
He's like,
cool. That will be
"Goddamn."
Lacie. Anything you like to do?
I'm just gonna climb on Sebog's back and sit there sad.
Okay, fair enough. Cool. Speaking of which, that'll be Sebog's turn.
I don't think I got anything going on. Actually, you're hurt. And you can't take another one of plant life. I'm gonna heal you with my hand. I was gonna say fist. I don't want to hit you. I'm gonna heal with my hand. It's a key point. You're taking a d6. Where's my 6? Plus my wisdom. Ooh, you got 9 health.
Thanks, buddy.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
Thanks, big buddy.
It's over 20 is what I was hoping for. So.
That will be Matters.
Is this my regular turn?
Regular
now?
turn, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you have to do? Not really that much to do right now.
Yeah.
Interesting rolls so far.
Yes.
Okay, that will be, yes, your turn for the ship.
I swear to God.
I swear.
1 through 5, 1 through 5, 1 through 5.
9. It's kind of cocked, but it's 9.
Okay, you get hit another waterfall. This is ridiculous. You have so many waterfalls. Okay, that does 7 damage to the ship. So it's not even doing that much damage.
Jesus
Cool.
Christ.
Oh,
You guys
God.
fall off again?
I nat one.
I 4.
Oh no.
I got an 8.
Oh my god. You got a nat 1?
Over.
Roll me a
Nat
d10.
1.
Oh, no.
That's
not it.
That's this.
Don't.
No.
Well, that's...
It's got 5 on one side and then 5 on the other
It's
side.
the one that was next to it. It's right here.
Yeah.
This
It's
one.
this guy?
Oh, this
that one.
guy.
This type of thing?
I got it.
It looks like the double digits, but it's symbols.
Yeah.
6.
As you kind of fall off the ship as it dives down yet again, you slam your head on the side of the of the bow as you're kind of falling over, and you take 6 damage.
Okay.
That will, and who was everyone else's rolls?
Over 20.
4.
I got a
You go
8.
over. So sorry. You go over 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have 3 people in the water right now, Sebog.
It just fell off Sebog's
Just like,
shoulders.
all right, I'm done for a while, and fall right back
Is there,
off.
a chance
Sebog's
that
back
is there a
on.
chance that I could have done a reaction for Lacie since she was on my back?
Turn order was there a reaction? What do you have in terms of reactions?
Just something that could possibly reach out and grab her, try to give her an advantage on this roll type of thing because she was technically on my back.
What did you do on your last turn? You healed her, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say if you had saved an action, I'm gonna say you could have done that as a reaction. But
Okay. That's fair.
this would unfortunately be unable to. Okay, so the 3 of them go over. And the ship kind of just barely comes back up, and just water still just kind of pouring off the sides of it. Sebog, you look around and you realize no one's on the ship with you. Cool. That will be Pale Scale's turn.
I try to climb up.
Cool. It's gonna be 10 strength.
+2, so it's 18.
Nice. You're able to get back up to the side. That will be Lacie.
Let's try to get it back up there.
Yeah.
19.
Nice. You're able to
Hell
climb back
yeah.
up. You're getting used to this. Okay, that will be back up
I've been
to
here
Sebog.
before.
So you can throw. You can heal the ship. You can heal one of them. You can throw the rope to Madras.
I'm gonna throw a rope out for
Okay,
Madras.
that makes sense. Madras, you want to climb with advantage? Just gotta get a 10 strength.
There it is.
17.
Nice. All right, you're able to get back up. Cool. And that will be the roll for the ship.
Oh, who's on that?
That's
It's
you.
That's me.
It's been a lot.
You.
We got up to 3 times so far.
16.
16. You guys are fine for a bit. I can't believe it's
Wow.
only waterfalls or sharp rocks or that. No one gets a 1 through 5 in this game.
No.
We're not adding anything to these rolls, right?
Yeah,
They're
no.
just
No,
okay,
no,
cool.
it's straight
I'm just
rolls.
super
The
unlucky.
gods.
Okay, awesome.
Gods.
That will be Pale Scales. Anything you'd like to do?
I ready in action.
Okay, smart. Lacie?
I'm just gonna get back on Sebog's bed.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm going to hold my action.
All right,
instead of
Sebog's
heal.
gonna hold your action. Okay, cool. Madras, anything you want to do?
No.
Got it. That will be who's rolling next for the ship?
Damien.
14.
14. You guys get some sharp rocks on the side here.
Yes.
Dings it up a little bit. That's
Oh,
going to
no,
do
we didn't
6
heal it
damage.
last
It's going to
time.
bring it up to...
Uh-oh.
the ship is at 87.
Oh, it's
Whoa.
Whoa.
It's on fire!
There are
B plus?
80s in
That is
this
a B
game?
plus.
87. The ship is way stronger than it needed to be. Okay, cool. That will be, I think, Pale Scale's turn.
I will repair the ship.
Okay, give me intelligence.
17.
Woo! Bringing it back, baby!
Yep, that seems to bring it back to 100. This is so stupid. Okay, that will be back to Lacie.
It's gone.
I'm just gonna sit there. I'm just gonna try to go to sleep on
Okay,
Sebog's
okay.
bed.
It's
But
not.
mechanically save your action.
Yeah.
Save your action. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, that will be back up to Sebog.
Yeah.
God, it's either everyone's off the ship, it's scary as shit, or you're fine.
You're fine.
There's
Yeah.
nothing in the
Yeah.
middle.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sebog. What would you like to do?
I
Hold?
think I'm gonna hold.
Okay, cool. Madras?
I'm chilling.
Okay, that's fair. So we can roll me for the ship. 1 through 5. 1 through 5.
13.
God damn it.
Sharp rocks.
More sharp rocks beside the ship.
Hell yeah.
7 damage. That is going to bring it to 93. We're going to jump back to Pale Scales.
I repair. 10.
You guys are so good at repairing this ship. Lacie, anything you'd like to do?
I'm just gonna sit there.
Okay. Sebog,
Yeah,
sit
I'm
there.
good.
Madras, sit there. All right. Roll up.
Please no.
I'm the only one that has that. Hurts me.
2.
17.
Oh,
17.
Nailed
You guys
it.
are set. God
Nailed
damn it.
it.
You guys are so good at this. I
We're
hate this.
chilling.
Next ship roll.
We're
This is what I get for
It's not me this
scaring the
time.
shit out of you with some kind of weird potion.
Yeah, right,
This
right.
is just revenge against your DM.
Lacey, you want to pour a potion on the ship?
No!
Try it. It would be fun.
Nothing can go wrong.
Anyway.
With the stabs,
okay.
it comes back to
You gotta go
life.
for the ship.
That
Okay,
was the
ship
roll
roll.
for the ship, or what was that?
That was ship roll.
No, that
Oh,
was.
that's
Oh, yeah,
ship
that
roll?
was his ship roll, yeah.
So-
Yeah,
so
but we're all
now
chilling, so it's your
Everyone's
turn.
chilling, right? Because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're all saving your actions. Go ahead and do ship roll again.
Give me a nat 1. Nat 1.
18.
The ship keeps sailing. Turns out,
20.
Turns out Rowless is really scared of the river.
Full,
Not actually that bad.
full of shit this
Nothing
round.
wrong.
Let's
Anyone
go.
doing anything? No? Alright.
Nat 20.
14.
14.
One rocks,
Some
baby.
sharp rocks.
More rocks.
3 damage. 97.
I mean,
Wild
oh
guess
my
what
God.
Tail Scales does.
I repair it.
Nat 20!
This shit looks better than ever.
Hell yeah.
Honestly, it looks so good.
I'm doing-
You've actually
left the
improved.
dock.
It's basically like if you just bought a car, drove it off the lot, and suddenly it's worth 10% more.
Not to brag, guys, but I'm doing a bang up job.
You're really just giving the ship such a good cleaning.
Yeah.
He's
I just
doing,
went to the sale and putting more stickers on.
Yeah.
He's just doing a good old spit shine. For
All right,
the
I'm guessing
boat.
everyone's holding their actions. Whose rolls it next?
Yeah, the 2.
Yes! Let's
Roll
go.
me a d4, baby!
Oh.
Yes!
Oh no.
Watch us all die for
4
this. Like,
again.
Oh no, it's
party
one
white.
It's the flowers.
The flowers
Oh,
start
God,
to
no.
kind of, crawl back, and as you guys have just been kind of chilling there, taking a breather, you haven't quite noticed that they've been building up again, kind of, precipicing over the top of the ship, and they all kind of fire out at you guys. Go ahead and give me your, what was it again?
Dexterity.
Thank
Oh,
you,
I
sorry,
thought
it's dexterity,
it
that makes sense.
Oh, I thought that was a
What'd you
win.
get? Sebog?
415.
Okay, you get... You're fine.
Yeah.
You're gonna take half damage.
Yeah.
11.
You're gonna get half damage too.
12.
You half damage,
9.
you get full damage. Okay, so that is going to be a
I know
Here
how
is a
much half
D.
damage is.
I mean, we took 10 last time.
Right.
Okay.
Full damage.
Oh no! Oh no.
Oh, you took... How weak are you?
Oh no.
How much health
I
do you
took
have?
20 psychic damage.
When did you take 20?
When I
From
took
the last
Oh,
flower.
you didn't save? I thought you saved.
No, me
No.
and I both failed.
We
Oh, don't
both
look at us like that. I
Like,
don't
he's
like
so
it.
excited.
So you guys are who passed? You're gonna take 5 damage only. You take 11 damage.
Oh!
You would have died.
Me? Who? Him or
You
me?
do, because you...
You
I
failed.
do.
You're the only one who failed. Yeah.
Oh.
Everybody else takes 5 damage. You just
Okay.
take 11 damage.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Oh,
So
goodness.
that will bring us to Tailscale's turn.
Ship's fine. So
Ship's fine.
I'm chilling.
Ship's
Already
The
in
one
action.
thing that doesn't hurt the ship.
Dandy. He's like, God damn it.
Ready in action.
Cool. All right, that will be Lacie.
I'm gonna cast Mass Cure Wounds on everyone.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
sweet.
So everyone's gonna get... That's 6. That'll be 9. And that'll be... So everyone gets 16 points back.
Okay.
Nice.
Got
You
it.
don't...
Oh, wow.
No.
Damn. Alright.
Got it. Okay. Awesome.
No, it's 3d8. Oh, no. Actually, sorry. 3d8 plus my spell casting modifier, and that's a plus 5. So that's 21 points back for everyone.
Wow.
Woo!
Nice.
Yeah.
That brings probably
Hell
everyone back
yeah.
up, right?
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Nice. Okay. Very cool.
You said
Uh,
71 points back up?
Yeah, 21.
All right. That will be Sebog's turn.
21.
Am I back? Oh, yeah, I am back.
Nice
Okay,
move.
cool. Sweet.
That was
Cool
great.
beans. Nothing's
Feeling
going on.
good.
Can I just... Can I just roll an investigation check?
You can
see
roll an
how things are
investigation.
looking?
What specifically would you like to know? How much longer this terrible river lasts? Okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can do that if you want to.
Honestly,
You
yeah.
can-
How much longer
Okay.
does it look like we're going?
Yeah, go ahead and roll. Now, specifically, you want how much longer? Probably how much longer the rough part is going to be, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool. Yeah, go ahead.
What's it gonna be rolling? That's a 15 plus what am I? Investigation.
Yeah.
Or
Or insight. You can
Insight?
do either. I think it's gonna be
insight.
fine.
That's over 20 something.
Okay, yeah. So you see, you know that you have gotten. Oh, what is the
22.
math? You've gotten most of the way through. It's very close to being over.
Okay.
So you know you just have like kind of the last leg of this.
Another leg.
That will be Matter's turn.
Ship's all healed. We're sailing past the flowers at this point.
Yeah. All good. Everyone's ready.
I'm gonna ready
Okay.
color spray just to be safe.
Cool.
And then it's your
All right,
turn
and
to
it's
roll.
your turn to roll for the ship.
19.
All right, all good. Do you guys want to roll for the ship, or are you guys doing anything with your turns? You're just holding actions, I believe, right?
Holding
Yeah,
actions.
probably.
Action.
Okay, cool.
17.
Okay.
It's okay. You're all good. Ship's still good.
Nailing it.
Hold actions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, it's cocked.
2.
15. Rocks?
That is, I can't remember where that divides.
That's
That is sharp rocks.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
That wins a win, baby.
2 points.
7 points of damage, so you're down at 93 health.
I think so most of the
Okay,
rocks
that
are
will
done.
be. I'm guessing the next person wants to heal, right? It's gonna be.
Pale scales.
Pale scales, heal
Prepare
that
that
boat.
ship, boy.
Heal that ship.
Heal that ship.
9.
Back up.
This is the
It sucks. it's so funny too because it could be
So
bad.
Yeah, it could be really
There's
bad.
2 rolls that could have made it so much worse. That will be who's running for the ship.
It's
next?
mine.
Okay.
And I'm the only one's rolled shit for it, so...
Look at him look ready.
19.
Okay. All right, that will go back to your roll there, Becca. You guys start. You guys start to see that it's like, in the distance, it looks like it's calmer seas up ahead.
Mhm.
Like you're getting close to the end here. What was that?
It's an 8.
You get
Waterfall.
I thought that was a
Waterfall.
2. And I got
So
really
you guys,
scared.
you start
no,
to. So you see
yeah.
like nice water ahead, and then you just realize right below that, you're like, oh shit, that's a lip, and like there's a waterfall coming. So everybody, go ahead and give me a strength saving throw.
8.
Oh my god.
6.
I got a 12.
Okay,
I'll
you
be
stay
safe.
on. What, yeah, you're probably
yeah,
coming, right?
yeah.
You guys both go off. Pale Scales and Lacie go flying off yet
Yep.
again. You guys are so clean right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
clean.
So fucking
You have like 8
Pale
naps
Scales still
today.
panicking.
Cool,
I
you guys
know,
you guys
I know.
fall off, and then that will be Pale Scales, your turn.
I try to
to
climb
get back on. Alright, it's gonna be 10.
16.
Okay, you're able to get back on. Lacie, that'll be your turn.
I'm gonna try.
Nice.
16.
Okay, great. You guys are
yeah.
able to get back on. Sebog and Madras, anything you guys want to do? Just hold.
As I come up, I'm just gonna lift my mushroom cap and water's
Oh.
just gonna fall out everywhere.
Did we take damage for the ship yet?
Oh, I love you, Becca. Teacher! Okay, that's 92 damage.
Okay.
92 damage.
92
So we
health.
have 8
I
health
wish.
left.
I'm just going to reverse it for one turn just to even the odds
I
here.
thought you just like multiplied it.
Yeah.
Repair.
For every waterfall.
I guess it's fully back up.
I guess, yeah.
7.
7.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
99 health, baby! Progress!
Nailed it. Ship it.
That's
All right,
Oh,
that is
good
going to
job.
be Lacey's turn. There's nothing really.
I'm a help. 2.
You bring it back up. It's back up.
It's
I
just-
thought that was for
it's
the
just
boat.
me putting
Oh,
a
yeah,
sticker
I
like
wish.
back
No,
up.
that was to heal the boat, right?
Yeah, that was just me putting
Yeah,
a
yeah.
sticker
Oh,
on
that's
the
right,
side
yeah,
of the
'cause you're
boat.
true.
If there's like a tight spot with a little bit of a leak coming, you just put a sticker in just to
Right
do it.
over it.
Like the
yeah.
Flex Seal guy.
It's a pit. It's the stickers of plank of wood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just blends in.
Yeah. Okay, that would be anything you guys want to do. The ship's all healed. You guys are all probably ready. Whose turn is it to roll for the ship?
15.
15 is going to be
Sharp
some
rocks.
sharp rocks.
Sharp baby.
Sharp rocks.
So stupid.
Sharp rocks, baby.
That's 2. It's 98 health.
Scales
What do you
heal
want to
up.
do, Pale Scales?
15.
So sad.
Yeah, I know.
All right, Lacie,
Nail it.
Sebog, Madras, anything you guys want to do? All right, that's going to be your roll, Lacie.
6.
Ooh.
You get a waterfall. You're just blown away by how many waterfalls there are in this river.
How
The
is not
ship
a
starts to
centered
kind of
earth?
precipice over yet again. You guys get ready. It falls in there. Everybody give me your strength saving throws. You fall off again. Lacie, not your forte.
I'm good.
Sebog,
It's strength,
forte.
right?
Modified 20.
You got a 4? Okay, so Lacie and Madras, you just guys fly back off the
Leave
ship
me
yet
here.
again. I'm done!
Okay.
Alright, that would be Pale Scale's turn. You want to throw a rope? Or?
I throw a rope.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and throw a rope. You don't
I
have to roll
got
for
an
that.
11. 11
On your roll?
11
Okay.
ropes, yeah.
11
11
rolls.
rolls.
You miss.
Oh,
You
nice.
throw the wrong side of the ship.
I throw them at
Great.
Sebog.
That will be Lacie. You want to go ahead and climb up with advantage?
She's
Yeah, nice.
Oh,
Advantage,
You
advantage.
had the rope.
Oh, nice.
19.
There you go. You climb back up. Sebog, you want to do anything?
Can I
Throw the
tie
to
a
the
rope
mattress?
to her?
Just
Sure.
to be safe.
Madras is still in the water.
Oh shit,
But
that's
you
right.
can do
Yeah,
that.
no.
I'll figure it out.
I'll
It's cool.
There's
I'll throw
no
a
reason
rope.
to fear this river
are we,
yet.
Are we
Yeah,
keep,
it's
is the
fine.
rope gonna still be there? Or are we saying that she brought the rope up with?
You can in your turn you can kind of like pull it out of the water and throw it on the other side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
so you're
it.
able to do that. Yeah. Okay, cool. So you're able to throw that.
Yeah, I'm like,
that would be
terrible.
Madras, your turn to climb back up with advantage. All you need is a 10.
I got a 19.
Nice. Okay, cool. Who's rolling for the ship?
That was just me. So
Okay,
it's
yeah.
you.
Okay. I'm like,
You
wait.
notice you are at the very end here.
Oh man.
Done.
Just roll that nat
Nat
20,
Please
baby.
give me a
No,
one.
give
Please
a
roll
nat
me a
one
one.
for old
Come on,
time's
baby.
sake.
Make my day.
It's a 5.
Ooh.
We're
It's
just
a
out of it. It's waterfall,
It's
isn't
a
it?
waterfall. Is it a waterfall?
So upsetting.
It's a waterfall. Oh my god.
It's a waterfall.
What is the terrain of this
Attendance
river?
in that one? I kinda
wanna
see what happens.
Can we just say right now that there is an even chance with all of these different things?
Wait,
I don't
wait.
know how. It's always waterfall and it's always rock.
So it's
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to be for.
Oh no. I
Oh
rolled
yeah,
a
you're
5.
right.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
rolled a 5.
You are right. I have my number in here wrong.
Whoop.
We have an encounter.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Pale scales, my best friend. You
I
get a
knew.
brand new hand. You find this hand in
Made
the
of
water.
other
Yeah,
hands.
it's like this Frankenstein.
baby
Yeah, patched together.
Baby
Oh my
He
god, I'm
finds a
so
fairy
can't
hand.
believe I didn't catch that earlier. I don't know if we rolled 5.
No, I don't think
No.
we
I
have.
haven't
But
rolled that.
roll me
He rolls
a
a fairy.
d4,
It's a
and I
fairy hand.
swear to God, do not roll me a 4. Come on,
pressure's
75% chance.
Pressure's on. What is it?
It's a 4.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, there's so much other stuff. I don't even know the math that we didn't get this, but this is ridiculous. Okay,
You can force it.
you guys know,
We can cut this
You
part.
can give me the disadvantage because it's the last roll. It's
no,
the hardest thing.
No, I'll make it up to you guys. Don't worry.
That's why we
I'll
I
find
should
an
give this to you.
authentic way to fuck you over.
That's why I wanted to give it
But
to
you guys have got great rolls. I
Yeah, it was
give
a
you that.
magical roll.
You've had great rolls. So
God,
you
it's better
see
than the bastards,
last
at least.
time these flowers kind of like emerging from the sides and go ahead and dive at you. Everybody give me a
Oh, but this is-
dexterity.
Oh, wait,
Did
no,
we
you
ready
can-
actions?
You. I mean, I think you just kind of constantly did. Yeah.
No, because
So-
the last one was
Or did I
waterfall.
repair?
Last one was
It was
waterfall. You
waterfall, so
threw a
we were
rope.
Oh, I
and
climbed
fell
up,
Oh,
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if
Okay.
anybody read
So
that.
DC.
No, you all climbed out.
So
Yeah.
it's dexterity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
16.
Nat 20.
Okay, you guys are
15.
both fine. You got a 15? Okay, cool.
7.
You guys will take damage. You actually don't. I'm gonna say nat 20. You actually are able to kind of avoid. You're getting used to this. Just hits you in the shell. You don't even notice. You got what?
7.
7. Okay,
Yeah.
you take full damage. Let's go ahead and roll. At least something has worked.
I guess that makes
I did almost die. Like, it did
He
happen.
was.
That's true. And
Yeah.
I had hope for a second.
Yeah.
So everybody who failed took 16 damage. So that I think it's just Damien, and then everyone who passed got 8 damage.
Yeah, everyone who failed, guys.
Everyone failed. Make
They
sure.
all are
All right.
taking 16.
And as these things kind of like explode onto you and just kind of just throw you off for a loop, Pale Scales, you are just taking on a decent chunk of damage from that. You guys look up and it seems like the flowers are kind of like falling away like they had before. But you notice just kind of as the ship kind of bobs, it's kind of recovering from that last waterfall. It starts to steady itself and it feels a lot more calm. In the distance, you see these structures, temple-like structure, kind of in the distance, peering as the ship kind of rounds this bend in the river. As it kind of becomes clearer, you guys can start to see this opening, this passage, this kind of really rough, dense part of the forest starts to fade away, and it looks to be a little bit more, still not like ruin or anything like that, but a little bit more of like a civilized kind of area, and kind of you see like some farms and pastures and such, and then this big monastery coming in the distance. And Sebog, you know that you are home. And that is where we'll end this section, guys.
What were the other things?
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
god,
what
let's
was
talk
the
about it
other
real quick.
Behind the scenes.
Okay, behind the
Actually-
scenes, I also kept those rolls going longer just to try and increase the chances.
Wow.
Like, it was supposed to be just
You hate us.
5 times through. I think we went 6 times through.
Yeah.
And I was like, alright, I can't get
Didn't
it.
happen.
It's not
All right.
moving.
So, not all of them are super crazy. The yellow musk creeper is the name of the flowers, and those were jumping at you guys, and they're just kind of like a flat, like, damage thing, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They're the least cool of the encounters, and you only got them 3
Nice.
times. I'm so upset. We also had a like a group. I think it was going to be a d6 roll +2 of bloodhawks, which are going to be this, like, very
Flying
like
things?
carnivorous
Ugh.
birds flying at you guys. They have like pack tactics. They have keen sight. Like, they've cool shit.
whole fight.
And we also had this really cool. And I just, because I'm so upset, I could have saved it for later, but I just want to tell you what some of these are. You had this. I was gonna have this thing. It's gonna be like you're gonna go under a tree, and this big branch or like a bark is gonna fall onto the ship, and there was gonna be a helmet there. It was going to animate into what's called a helmed horror,
Ooh, I know how
Are
it
you
works.
kidding?
and it's so much stronger. And I heavily expected one of these things to get on the ship and linger,
Yeah.
and that's why I didn't make any one thing too crazy. Because I half expected you guys to be falling off the ship, dealing with stuff, while there was an NPC on the ship fighting you. That's why I didn't want to go overboard, and it never happened.
We went overboard.
And then the last thing was it's not as crazy as it sounds, but it was like a baby kraken. And it was really, it was only going to be like essentially tentacle attacks, but it was going to do good damage to the ship.
Wow.
We never went under 87 of the ship.
I had so that was basically, you had the D4 roll, and that was going to determine any of those other things. But it should be an even chance you get an encounter, even chance you get rocks,
Yeah.
waterfall, or nothing. So
Damn. Wild.